Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Got a great broadcast lineup for you this morning, as I hope and I pray that we always do. I'm not important, just a question asker. My name is Raheen Ajume, but I'm just a question asker. Don't think I'm important. I'm just the one that's going to ask you a couple of questions today, but we're going to keep this thing going. We absolutely going to keep it going, and let it go in the way that it go. Um, Waiting on a few of everybody to come through this morning. I got a little feedback. I'm trying to make sure that we can get rid of that little feedback on my phone system here. Got a little echo going on. I'm trying to make sure we can alleviate that little echo in some kind of way. I don't want that echo coming through my phone system. So y'all bear with me for a second as I handle this little situation. It's a little small little situation, nothing I can't handle. Let me do that and do that right there. Now that should have fixed it, but it did not. Okay. But how's your all's morning going this morning? Hope you all are having a fantastic morning. Hope you all are having a fantastic morning. I'm having a great morning. Um, had a few things I had to take care of this morning before I came on. Um, a few personal things, but nothing that could not be handled. It was handled, and I handled it, and it is now handled. How about that? How about that? I want to ask you all a question. I'm gonna kick this thing. I'm gonna go ahead and kick it off right now before everybody get in here, and I want to talk to you all about this a little bit before everybody else come on because we're gonna have we should have quite a few people on with us today, and I'm looking forward to each and every one of them being here. I get excited when we all come together. I definitely get excited when we all come together. But there's a thing going on, and it's said that Black Lives Matter. Um, and this has been something that's been going on for a while now. There's been a movement, but I want to take this question to a whole different level, and I'm gonna ask the question across the board because again, there's been another school, a couple of school shootings with our young people out here shooting each other and doing all kind of things that they do. And so I want to ask this question: not do Black lives matter, but I want to ask the question: do lives matter? Do lives matter? Have we become so caught up in ourselves, so insensitive to the process of life? I gotta sneeze. Excuse me. Have we become so caught up with everything that's going on? Have we become immune to life? And when life is lost or taken, does it mean the same thing as it usually mean? Do life matter? I mean, with all these school shooters, with all these people walking around doing all these different things and shooting and killing each other, man, there was a shooting in a nightclub. Man, I'm gonna tell you something. I look at news throughout the country. I like to follow the news throughout, see what's going on from city to city, state to state. And there's a lot of killings going on. There's a whole lot of killings going on. And with all those killings that's going on constantly on an everyday basis, you look at the news, man. This person was shot. This person was killed. This person was shot. This person was killed. There was a shooting here. And with all these things, with the people pointing the weapons of mass destruction, I'm talking about guns, at each other, pulling the trigger and shooting each other. Do life matter? We say that we do. We like to think that it does. But the reality of the situation, does life matter? And if it does matter, why is it so easy? Why is it so easy for an individual to point a weapon at another individual and pull the trigger? If we say life matter, how can that be done so callously, so easy? Let me say easy, so easily. Life matters. If it does, how can we so easily take it from each other? If something innocent happened, and as innocent as an argument, people argue all the time. Why does it have to be? Why does it have to be elevated to a place where person could possibly lose their life? we fight and say life matters. Black lives matter, white lives matter. They say blue lives matter. They say all these different things, and they got all these little quotes that they use about life. But yet and still, they're so easy to take it. It's easy. You know, I don't want to think that it's easy for me, but as a whole, it's easy for a person to take another person's life. They'll point that weapon at them and pull the trigger. You know that something have to happen after that. Something have to happen after that. And when you pull that trigger and you make contact with the person, something is going to happen. Excuse me. Something is going to happen. And a lot of times, unfortunately, it equals death. Did that life matter? That life that the individual pointed the weapon at, pulled the trigger, and watched them fall before them. Did that life matter? Did it matter at all? Obviously, and I don't think that it mattered to that individual that pulled the trigger. Be it because they was angry, be it because they was mad, or whatever the situation was. That life at that moment did not matter because it was so easy to take it. It was so easy for that individual to take their life. This is another individual. This is another life. This is another person. This is another human being that you have pointed that weapon at, pulled the trigger, and watched them fall before you. But we're so quick to say life matters. And I'm not going to categorize this thing. I'm not going to say black lives, white lives, orange lives, purple lives, greens, or whatever, polka dot lives. I'm not going to say that. I'm talking about life itself. If life itself mattered, would we be so quick to do that? Would we be so quick to point a weapon at somebody? Know the damage that this weapon could do. We know what this weapon could do. We know what this weapon can do. We know what it can do. But yet and still, we will, without hesitation, point it at another individual, point the weapon at another individual, and pull that trigger. Something happens after you pull that trigger. Something happens every time. I promise you, every time you pull that trigger, something happens. Every time. Did that life matter? Now you're on the run, trying to get away for a decision that you made. I just want somebody to give me a call. 5089243521, 5089243521. Does life matter? Does life matter? Does it really matter? And if it does, how could you just pull the trigger, point a weapon at somebody, pull the trigger? And again, I'm not going to categorize this in. I'm not going to say black lives, white lives, purple lives, blue lives, orange lives, whatever. I'm not going to say that. I'm going to ask the simple question: does life matter? Or have we become so immune? Man, every day I look at the news. Every day I can't look at, I don't care what channel I turn to or where I look at the news. I could surf and from city to city, state to state. And I promise you, on every news channel I look at, they're going to talk about how somebody was shot and killed, ran over by a car, or whatever the cause. But they're going to talk about life being taken by some individual. So my question is a real simple one. Does life matter? Does life matter? Or are we so immune to this whole system Or have we become immune? People die every day. People die all the time. Is that our mentality? Is that our attitude? Is that how we feel about this thing? 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We'd definitely love to hear from each and every one of you. I want to hear your heart on this. I want to hear I want to know what is your take on this whole situation? What's your take? Does it matter? Would it matter? Should it matter? Or have we been placed in a situation or a society where it doesn't matter and we just don't care? Just don't care. Do we care? We say we do. We want to present it as if we do, but do we really? I see we got a call. Let me see who we got here. Rico.
What's happening with you, man?
Good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Man, I can't complain, man. I enjoying another beautiful new day in this universe, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, and as always, brother, it's always good having you, man. I want to ask you this question. I got something going on this morning. I want to hear from you, Rico. And we're not going to categorize it this morning. We're not going to categorize it at all. We're going to keep it open. And I'm asking the question because every day I look at the news this morning, man, and they talked about at least 5 or 6 to 10 people that was killed, shot. There's another shooting here in the schools in Gwinnett County here in Atlanta. Young boy in jail, man, little teenager, 17-year-old in jail, got into a fight at school, and shooting in the school, shooting at a car, and they locked him up. Won't even get them right now. Won't even give him a bond or anything, bail or anything. He can't bail out. They're gonna keep him in there until he go to court, until he go to trial. Wanted to shoot and kill somebody. All these school shooters that we talk about it all the time on here. All the people that's shooting each other, that's killing each other. And I'm asking a real simple question, Rico, and I want to hear your heart on this, brother. Does life matter? We're not going to categorize, say, black lives, white lives, like Kanye say, or blue lives, like they talk about with the police officers. I'm just asking a simple question. Does life matter? Or have we become so immune to all this stuff that's going on that, it's just another walk in the park with us now?
To me, I think life only matters if that life benefits or affects you. And even then, about 5 or 6 days after you put them in the ground, it's business as usual.
Wow.
On to the next.
Wow.
But I mean, even before the school shootings, we think about 2 years ago when COVID kicked in and didn't nobody want to sit at home and they still want to call it conspiracies.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen young people having parties and just disrespecting and, laughing in the face of COVID.
Yep.
I even seen one young girl, man, this young white woman, man, she had a very big platform. Y'all stupid this and y'all stupid that, and I don't want to shut down, and I want the right to do this and that. Then about 2 weeks later, she was boo-hooing with snot coming out her nose about her granddaddy and her uncle and all these different people in her family that had died back to back to back to back.
Yep.
And then you still got people that say, well, people die every day. Man, but come on, man. It ain't no time in our existence that we ever seen so many family members, so many different families lose such a huge number of family members at one time.
Yep, that's right. That's right.
So close to do it, but people still want to make the argument. It was a conspiracy. They created it in a lab. It came from that, man, regardless of where it came from, something happened.
Yep, exactly.
But we didn't want to appreciate life enough to stop going in public and having our nails done and going to clubs. You know what I'm saying? I mean, people was being defiant and opening their doors. Look what they did in Miami.
Come on.
They was intentionally doing some crowd hurting, man. And then, they weren't caring about the other people's lives they were putting at risk. They didn't even think about the fact that they may have just been carriers and was bringing it back home like some people did.
Yep. A lot of people did.
Brought it back home to their family.
Yep. A lot of people did. Sure did.
But they care so less about life and more about enjoying the moment. They didn't think nothing about the future. They didn't think nothing about when that girl was making that video. and she was being all cute and laughing in the face of COVID and disrespecting people that had already lost family members. Oh man, when that snot was coming out her nose,
Yeah.
she wasn't laughing too much.
Exactly.
That
Exactly.
was a whole different moment. I bet she didn't think that the future was gonna come back to bite her like that because she was living for then.
Yep.
And as long as everything was good then in her life, and as long as she wasn't losing no family members, then she didn't give a care. You know, that's how people feel. If it doesn't affect them, then it ain't their business. You know, we have this issue as far as black people with trying to get activism and advocate on behalf of each other. On I mean, well, think about the have and the have-nots.
Yep.
The 1%, they could care less about the people in poverty and the children that's caught up in the family court system to the point to where they don't want to go correct and fix that, while they know that they're creating super predators. Everybody's beloved president. I don't pull no punches. I call it the way I see it.
Yeah.
I didn't like Trump, and I don't like Biden either.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the past is the past. But even though he wanted to lock up these super predators, he has not been as adamant to fix that statement about not caring about what created them. So they've been steadily created, and they steadily knocking them up and making money off of free labor and federal money from grants and this and that. Money from the government that they had to open up these prisons. In Alabama, they're building 3 mega prisons.
Wow.
They don't want to fix the problem. They just want to lock it up.
Yep.
To make sure that they can protect their grandmothers, like Joe Biden said. See, this is a Republican and a Democrat thing. So, when you start thinking about bipartisan politics and Second Amendment rights to guns and not want to keep them or make it harder for children or mentally ill people to get them so so they can go and commit these mass school shootings based off the fact that people are lobbying and paying you to make sure that you don't hold the gun manufacturers responsible and that you protect the NRA, all this little dirty business in politics. No, man, people don't care about life. It's about business. Right about now, the black community cares so less about life to the point where I just had a man that want to sit back and debate me about Kanye West, not Martin Luther King or Farrakhan, or Nat Turner, not about Frederick Douglass or Marcus Garvey. He wanted to debate me about Kanye West.
That's sad,
so that
bro.
really goes to show you how people really value life and what's important, man. I mean, we're caught up and distracted in so many different things to the point to where we only want what makes us feel good, and if it doesn't affect us, then it ain't our business.
Yep. And that's the thing right there, and that's why I wanted to get to, man. And I appreciate you, brother, because we don't value. I don't think, and I want people to call in and voice their opinion as well as to how they think. Because maybe, Rico, they may think totally different from the way we think right now. But with all this stuff that's going on, I think people it's happened so much. Some people, the one that used to care, has become so immune to it because it happens so often. Like I said, man, I look at the news, man, and I promise you, over half of the news is talking about how somebody took somebody's life or somebody killed somebody or something that's what they harming somebody in some kind of way. And so that led me to the question, man, does life matter? Does it really matter at all? Because even for the people that say it does, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that say it do, that feel that as though it does. Where's the evidence? Show me some evidence of where it does matter, because a lot of the things that I see, man, predators and all these different things that's going on, man, they don't care nothing about the personal life that they're hurting or how they and how what the result is of what they're doing to these people. I don't think they care. Rico. Talk to me, brother.
I mean, some people do care. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of good people out here that's not out here doing bad. But then you look at so many different avenues where people are abusing the system and ruining other people's lives. They might not be killing them, but they're ruining them. Think about the men and women that we see getting exonerated from long prison terms from a corrupt judicial system.
Yeah.
Think about the people that have been exonerated after execution for crimes they didn't commit.
Wow.
Those lives were taken. Not just, they were let out and wasted because they spent 25 or 30 years in prison. But I mean the ones that were actually executed. And then later on they come back like Ladell Lee.
And ain't no way and you
Oh,
can't
we
come back from
found
that.
out that he didn't do it. Wait a minute, but he gone. And he kept telling y'all this.
Yep.
Why did you make it so hard for him to try to prove it? I mean, it's funny how they get you caught up in that system. And then when they get you caught up in it, whether you guilty or innocent, they make it hard for you to get out of it.
Yep. Yep.
They make it very hard, man. And you that you fighting terrorism. And it's probably the terrorism they created.
Yeah.
By their own remote control. No, we ain't gonna even investigate the loss of that life. 9/11, no, we ain't gonna investigate it. We went into a recession. Now we out of recession. And guess what? We can't go back and investigate it. That don't make sense to me. They don't care about the lives lost and damaged and traumatized from 9/11 to the point where they see. I mean, now I'm pretty sure we in good shape now to where they could go ahead and do that investigation. It ain't too late.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they might want to wait like they did with John F. Kennedy and go ahead and admit later on that it was 2 bullets instead of 1.
Man, the whole system, Rico, I'm telling you, the whole system is corrupt, man. And that's one of the things I say, and that's one of the reasons why I want to ask this question, man. Does life really matter? Because when you got all kind of stuff like that going on, and people, when people say life, they think of just the shooting and the killing, but there's other elements out there, man. People don't. I hate to say it like that, man, but truth to the truth, man. People, a lot of times, a lot of people just don't care. They just don't care. But we're in a situation right now. What are we to do to combat that whole situation, Rico? What can we do to make it better? Because I don't know what we could do. I don't know.
Keep doing your part to do good and do right. To love and show love consistently and genuinely. You know, there's a lot of fake love going around. See, if we actually got people to love correctly and consistently, sincerely, then, you know, it would have a positive effect. You know, we speak about quality time. Sometimes we have a good positive influence on people, but it's not consistent enough. So the most consistent influence is the negative environment that they have to survive in. You know, imagine telling a child that doesn't eat until he get to school or she get to school that they're gonna be all right for the next 16 hours that they out of school. They only got 8 hours with you giving them attention, teaching them, giving them some type of education, feeding them. They only get 8 hours, and then they probably got to switch a class every hour.
Yep.
So now you got different teachers. One might care, one might not care. So you might only have 1 hour with one teacher that actually understands you and take the time out to try to see what's going on with you, because your life outside of that classroom is hell.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Wow. And so,
I mean, so you know, it's going to take the love of the community, man. I mean, the love of mankind, and I mean, you know, sometimes when we see things going on and we see a necessity that we need to step in and say something or do something, especially when it comes to our children and our elderly people. You know what I'm saying? It has to be automatic.
mm-hmm,
It has to be mandatory that we step in when we see wrongdoing and correct it
mm-hmm. Why do you think more people are not attempting to do it?
because it ain't their business.
Wow.
They
But
don't want to get out of their comfort zone.
mm,
It don't affect them. And then some people, actually, you know, they might not want to get involved because the person is doing it, they idolize them.
wow.
Maybe we friends, you know, maybe I don't want to go. You know how we talk sometimes about this unconditional loyalty and this solidarity between our sisters, where it's hard for them to want to correct each other or call each other out.
Mm-hmm,
You
exactly.
know, I think as men, we don't mind calling each other out and correcting each other. I mean, we might bicker too much,
Mm-hmm.
but these women, woo, man, it's hard to get them to call out the other one and tell them, hey, man, y'all wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You're
Wow.
wrong for doing this. You're wrong for doing that. I mean, so you know, that people have favorites. You know what I'm saying? They have cliques and just, you know, different standards that dictate influence how they address certain things. You
Mm-hmm.
know, like I
Mm-hmm.
said, everybody don't like to call it down the middle.
Exactly.
You have people. Have you ever heard somebody say, "Well, I know that was wrong what he did, but that's my brother, and regardless, I'm gonna stick with him.
Mm-hmm.
Or that's my son, and that's I'm gonna stick with my son. I don't care what he did.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But what if your son molested your other son? Uh-oh.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Exactly. Wow. Wow. See, and that it's a lot of layers to this thing, man. And I knew it was gonna be real deep, man. And we got Ibrahim with us this morning. Ibrahim, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Assalamu alaikum. I'm doing well.
Well,
Good
like my
morning.
salam, sir. Asking a question, Ibrahim, and I want to hear your heart on this, brother. We talking real this morning. I want to hear your heart on it. And we're not gonna categorize it. We're not gonna say black lives, white lives, blue lives, or whatever category they put these things in. I'm asking the question: does life matter, or have people become so immune? Because every day, like I said, I prefaced it this morning by saying this: I look at the news, and every day, there's is no good news on that. Everything is somebody getting killed, somebody getting shot, ran over, or whatever, abused in some kind of way. So I'm asking the question, man: does life matter? Not black lives, not white lives, not blue lives, orange, purple, or polka dot lives. Does Ibrahim? Does life matter?
Well, hey, well, you told me to be honest. And well, I was born and raised in a black family. My mom was black, my daddy was black, my sister and brothers were black. You know, I worked in the black community. I've been around black people all my life. And what happens to one black person affects me. So black lives do matter.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I say that is because you know it's consequential. All lives matter,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
But nobody seems concerned. I've been on rescue missions to rescue black people, to even try to stop somebody from being kidnapped and taken away and stuff like that. Black lives matter. There are tens of thousands, 70 and 80,000 black women and men and children missing, boys
Mm-hmm.
and girls missing. No, nothing being said about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, lives matter, right? And and I've heard as high as uh 3 out of 4 pregnancies are being aborted in black people. So black lives matter.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I've seen mamas, especially the crack they even now killing their children or just going off. You know, I've seen men killing their wives and their children. You
Mm.
know what I mean? I've seen it go both ways. I've seen the police raiding out, coming out community, you know, for the most minor things and wind up killing a man, boy, woman, or child. You know, I've seen people in the community shooting down each other on disagreements or wearing a certain color or because they can. You know what I mean? And I've seen a skinny white woman run through a neighborhood black at night, almost half naked, looking for trouble, right? You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
nobody even touch her, say nothing to her. And I've seen a black man walking home from work with his wallet and get robbed or beat up because he's in the wrong neighborhood, right? Black lives do matter, right? In these schools, I see kids fighting and beating. I had such with principals in some of these schools, right? Fighting and beating and killing each other. And their mamas coming in one way or other. So Black lives do matter, right? Our children are coming up, with all kind of crazy conviction they had. The disease and all that. Don't take the virus. Don't do this. Don't take the antibiotic. Don't do this. Don't do that. Oh, they killing us, but they also killing us with the antivirus and everything. Don't take that. Do this. Don't do that. Don't wear no mask. It don't make sense. The flu epidemic. Now they got this this respiratory syndrome problem. And they got the monkeypox. Don't wear a mask. Don't wash it. You ain't got to do it with people. They just tell you what to do. You're trying to get rid of it. You're trying to keep you inside the house. But protecting yourself, right? You got to protect me because some men disrespect me, say, because you go kill them. Black lives do matter.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm talking about, right? As soon as you love your people and love the people around you, their lives do matter. But the only thing that matters with individuals nowadays is their own selves.
Mm-hmm.
What they feel, what they think. Let the kids run wild because they just kids. Let them be kids. Black lives matter. Shut them down. Show them responsibility and consequences of their actions before they get grown and get in a situation where the consequences of their actions is more severe you can possibly ever put upon them.
Mm-hmm.
Because Black lives do matter to me.
That's good.
My grandchildren, my great-grandchildren, they gonna have to go through what my parents avoided and tried to keep us away from, and raise us up in the most dangerous circumstances where you can see the difference between the people who's gonna bring you harm and the people bring you love, right? The black people bring you love. The people of another color bring you hate and discontent and malcontent. Black lives do matter to me. I came up with it. I've been gunshot. I've been stabbed. I've been cut. I've had so many different surgeries. I don't even want to go in detail.
Mm-hmm.
I got all kind of diseases right now. Stuff that right now I need to try to heal up. And I've been trying. God has blessed me, keeping me alive, and got me suffer too much pain. I went through drug addiction. I've broken drug addiction, everything but a cigarette. Finally, I had to get away with that cigarette because cigarette damn near took my life.
Mm-hmm.
I did every drug that can possibly imagine except crack.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So Black lives do matter to me. And I don't believe in putting a man in jail because he's addicted or he has a thing. I believe they should be hospitalized, cured, helped out.
Mm-hmm.
Black lives matter to me.
Yes,
There's so much I can say today
mm-hmm.
in my lifetime I've seen why Black lives matter to me. And by that, what's good for black people is good for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
When they found out that people get drugs and intoxicated on different type of drugs, black people go through them. Nobody say nothing. So white person get, and all they come up with cure. But that is good for me because what's good for me is healing the black people in the community. I also heal the people in the community that come along behind us and catch the same problem. So Black lives do matter. I think the more we think that individually and stop playing those word games and sensitive games, that we saying all lives matter, but we the first people. We the first people that get diseases, that diseases are put upon and experimented with, and all types of drugs and everything. We the first people. You know what I mean? So everybody benefits from that. We the first people when it came to contraceptives. We the first people that came to pregnancy issues. We the first people that come to social issues. We the first people that went through all that. And guess what? When we are here, when our community does better, all communities do better. Black lives do matter.
Good. Stay right there. Stay right there, Ibrahim. Don't you go nowhere. You stay right there. I want to go back to Rico. Rico, what's on your heart? This brother put a lot out there, man.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. There's life does matter, but the question is does everybody appreciate it or treat it like it matters?
Mm-hmm.
And in general, you can see a lot of cases where people really don't, I guess, understand just how important it is or how much it matters. It didn't matter when that man had his knee on George Floyd's neck, or them dirty jokers, gunned Ahmaud Arbery down for jogging, and just wanted to accuse him and make him suspicious. So this is how we handle suspicious black people. We take our guns out there and we'll kill him and take his life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because something didn't look right about him. He looked suspicious. Hey man, listen. We could go on and on. Like I said that about the atomic bombs earlier and the collateral damage. I brought up Pat Tillman. It ain't just a black or white thing.
Yeah.
But, as far as black people go, it can get to a point where we only focus on what's going on with us because of the many ways that it happens and that's not average. just not normal, you know. Like Ibrahim said, man, you know, it got to a point where, you know, people was dying over rags and colors that they didn't even own the companies that made them handkerchiefs,
Exactly.
bandanas.
Yep.
A lot of, man, graveyard full of people, man, a whole lot of t-shirts sitting up in some dresser drawers and closets with loved ones on faces on them.
Yep.
And it's still going on. This has been going on since Colors. Now it's profitable. The record labels don't care. Any rapper that can put out a good music and get a good beat and rap about smoking on the ops and disrespecting the mamas of these little boys that's dying, we'll make you rich.
Yep.
We'll help you go viral. You could talk for so much money and make a fan out of it that I guarantee you somebody gonna think this the way.
Yep. Exactly.
That's how much we value life. You know what I'm saying? I mean, man, it's man, I don't know. I mean, like you said, the question is how do we change this? Well, we change this by changing the standard, changing the trend. We gotta make being honorable and being excellent cool again. Because trends are all about being cool.
Yeah.
And right about now, it's cool. The coolest thing out there is having as much money as you can have to do whatever you want to do, quote unquote. And that makes money over everything. You remember when they started saying that quote,
yes,
MOE is money over everything.
Yep. Exactly.
Well, now that's really what it is. And so, you know, life doesn't mean anything because, you know, you can make money by taking life. We could make you rich promoting that. And then let's not even talk about how much melanin is worth.
Yes, sir.
They say it ain't on the stock market, but I'm trying to figure out how they even came up with the value of it if they ain't got it on the stock market. How can you tell me that I'm worth $40 million just with melanin alone? And so, you know, is my life more valuable than that melanin?
And that's not talking about your organs, because a lot of time, you know, there's a big black market out there for body organs. People, you know, they selling your body, man. It's so much tied into the thing, man. And a lot of times, truth of the matter, people overlook and don't even take time to realize what's really going on or what's really happening. You got some quote unquote rich people, and y'all probably don't heard the stories as well. They'll go out there and find somebody that has the organs for their family members and knock them off. Now there's he just mysteriously just died. No. They were targeted. Because they bought their body organs. All the DNA and everything matched what they needed, and so you had to become a casualty of war. You became a casualty of war to save this person's life. They was willing to take your life. Does life matter? They was able to take your life so they could sustain the life of their family member. You were just a little a black boy from the ghetto. Your life don't matter no way. You ain't gonna do nothing. You're not gonna equate to anything. This is my family member. We're millionaires. We're billionaires. We got plenty of money. We're going to make a difference. So we're willing to knock you off so this person could continue to live. Badger, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Found the mute button. It's a pretty good morning overall.
Good deal, Badger. We're asking the question, and we're not categorizing. We're not talking about black lives, white lives, blue lives, polka dot, purple, or green lives. We're asking the question, does life matter? Or have we become so sensitive with all these deaths that's going on, these killings that's going on, that it doesn't even matter to us anymore? It's just average every day. It's just an everyday occurrence now. It happened. Nothing. What do you say to that? I was going to say Rico. What do you say to that, Badger? Does life matter?
I mean, life absolutely does matter across the board.
To everybody?
Not to everybody, though. I mean, you got the companies that have filed for to keep us that file those insurance claims for when we pass away. I mean, we're just numbers to corporations. That's all we are.
Wow.
So,
so basically, with that mindset, thinking in that pattern, It doesn't matter to them. It doesn't
Oh,
matter.
to them? Yeah, no, it doesn't. The only thing that matters to them is, oh, there's a virus that weakened the population. Well, let's ban abortion so that way they can't just, everyone has to keep trying to carry their child or whatever so we can make more money.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's my honest opinion, is this world's run by money so much that all the evil things that exist, racism, women not having to fight for rights again, the stuff that's going on in indigenous cultures and all that kind of things, is all centered around greed. So folks in power want to stay in power. They want to keep they're fighting over who's going to be top dog, who's going to be the top trillionaire.
So they're willing to kill people. They're willing to kill people just to stay in power. Life has that little of a value to them.
I'd absolutely say, yeah, and we don't matter to them. I mean, we're cattle or sheep for them. You go too far or make something that could or figure out how to work something that could hurt them. Like the power companies. Do we really need power companies? Honestly, do we need power companies?
That's that's a heck of a question, brother.
If we have solar power, wind power, water power, hydrogen power, nuclear power, do we need the ones that exist right now? However, if we go purely green and, we're running off of DC to AC currents, we don't really need the power system anymore. Which means the people that run it ain't going to have money. So that's why, they're working on making laws or, certain things in the county that you live in. What county I live in, there's limitations to it due to, oh, wait, the head power company went, whoa, hold on. We don't want a whole bunch of people being self-sufficient. We want them to still be hooked up to the grid. So we're going to run this county dictating what they can and cannot do with solar.
Wow.
We don't matter. We're numbers.
508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. Asking the question, does life matter? Does life really matter? We're not going to say black lives, white lives, blue lives, purple, green, polka dot lives. We're going to talk with all the killings that's going on, with all the mass killings going on, these school shootings, and people just killing each other. Look at the news. You see it every day. Look at the news. You see it every day, all day. I guarantee you 2/3 of the news is going to talk about somebody getting killed, somebody getting smoked, if you will. So, Brother Pete, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Good this morning. How you doing this morning?
Hey, doing good.
Radio, Morning Glow Panel, Family Facebook.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Pete, I got to ask you this question, man. And we're not going to categorize. We're going to talk about it holistically. Does life matter?
Absolutely. If life didn't matter, we wouldn't chart anything when life is lost, but disrupted, injured. Absolutely, life matters. This thing we call life can be a beautiful experience if we understand the fullness of it.
Yeah. Okay. So why is it so easy? And Pete, just help me understand this. Why is it so easy for one individual, and some would say some evil individual, to point that weapon at somebody? Weapon of mass destruction, which is a gun. I call it weapon of mass destruction because it disrupts everything. Why is it so easy for an individual to point that weapon at somebody and pull the trigger and watch their body fall right before them? If life matters, why is it so easy for that to happen? Because it happens all the time. And that's just one instance. We talked about a whole list of things, how, one person is taking out another person, or one group is taking out another group. So if life truly matters, and I do agree that it does matter, and it should, why is it so easy for that to happen, Pete?
due to the aggravation, frustration, of individuals' reality of existing in their lowest form of themselves and being comfortable there, and then acting out from there. But we, in the Christian Bible, they doctrine Jesus Christ, doctrine of faith, they call it salvation in sin, right?
Mm-hmm.
In other formations, they talk about higher self and lower self. So when we find ourselves at the lowest point of our existence, where we just existing, there's no real value, no real purpose, no real intent. You just kind of being blown by the wind and the breeze, and wherever you find yourself, you find yourself. If you're existing at that, on that type of level within yourself, then it's easy to result to extremity, because you're existing in extremity. You don't have any purpose. You don't have any guidelines. You don't have a chart to measure, to put yourself into a context to see whether you should go this far or not. Should I go left or right? Should I say yes or no? Should it be light or heavy? You don't have that measuring scale. You're just being blown by the wind.
Harry Hippie.
So it's easy to react in extremities. When something comes to you and you don't like it, you go act extreme with it. And you don't value. See, I don't have no purpose, so I can't see you having purpose.
Wow.
I can't see you being purposeful. You're just in my way right now, and I need to get you out of my way.
Wow. And a lot of degrees, I have to agree. I have to agree with that as well. I have to agree. But that's a sad state, though, brother. I think that's a very sad state to be in, because that's that Harry Hippie mentality. You remember that old song, Harry Hippie? Yeah.
Yeah, Harry Hippie. It's a state of savagery.
Yeah.
It's really what it is. You're a living thing, not necessarily conducting and existing as a being. See, you're not really possessing the context and the consciousness of your being. You're just existing. You're just here for now. I mean, it's savagery is truly what it is. I mean, you see something you want it, you take it.
But see,
that's it. I mean, are you stealing? No, I'm taking what I want.
But you gotta understand something.
Shelf, it was there. It was what I wanted, and I took it. Now, what is the problem?
But see, the thing about that is, and when you talk about valuing, when a person devalue themselves to that level, when a person devalue themselves at that level, is absolutely obtainable to see that they don't value anybody else. And so that's the sad state. So how do we get out? How do you get a person out of the place where they just totally devalue themselves and nothing have any value around them, regardless of who it is?
The Bible say, by love and kindness have I drawn thee. Luther, dropped a version of it that says what the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of, right? So when we show love one to another, genuine concern and compassion, care, gentleness, tenderness, kindness toward one another, see, it's hard to receive that grandmama warmth that you feel in your inner being of who you are as a being. When somebody is genuinely showing these traits towards you, then we can start breaking off that superficial hardness, those injuries and those blows, those assaults that have taken place in your life and on your life and in your inner being, your spirit, your heart, your mind, your soul. The love can start the tender touching, reaching, and healing. And now we have turned a beast back into a being just by simply showing what we all possess and what this thing called life is all about. And that's showing love.
Yeah. I can go with that. I can definitely go with that. Let's go to Joseph. Joseph, good morning, sir. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning, Grove family.
Joseph, we asking
doing good.
Hey, good deal, and good to have you, brother. We asking the question, man. We talking about life. We're talking about life, and asking the question, not black lives, not white lives, not blue lives, purple, green, or polka dot lives. Does life matter? Or have people become so immune to all these things that's going on around them that life itself doesn't even matter anymore, to the point where, they could take a life and it's just like, tying your shoes in the morning. Okay, it is what it is. Does life matter?
Yeah.
Joseph, what do you say to that?
Well, I see us all in a rat race, and I see many people confused as to whether life does matter. All we have to do is look at the number of suicides, the increased number of suicides in this country, and we can see that there's some serious struggle over that question. Does life matter? In fact, I believe someone is asking the question, does my life matter, especially when it comes to suicide? But if we look, when we see the arguments between the Black Lives Matter people who came up with a powerful slogan just to try to counter this threat to Black lives, and they said all Black lives matter, trying to balance it out, but then they get a reply back from the extreme side that all lives matter. Well, if all lives matter, then we would be talking about police brutality against all lives, right?
Come on.
But that's not what we're seeing. We're seeing a targeted group of people whose lives are being snuffed out without trial or jury and all of that, from a certain segment of the police force. So all lives does not matter. Can't nobody, really dispute that with the facts anyway. Now, when we look at the fact that we, just for about the last 50 years, we have been mounting efforts to integrate into this society. Now, some may call it assimilate, but we've been trying to integrate and take part of the same fruits under this Constitution that other people had been enjoying. Because, the Black population, not only were they under-schooled, they were underemployed, and we are still getting less wages than our white counterparts. So all lives don't matter. All lives are not the same, and is not viewed the same in this country. And for anyone to ignore these realities, they're being deceitful or delusional.
Wow.
So life itself is very important, and we should all want to make the value of life higher than what it is. Because when people are struggling with the basic necessities of life, they do stoop to kind of barbaric behavior, shooting each other and killing each other, and shooting up schools. And, people are crying out, and those with the power are not listening, even though they recognize what's going on. They're not listening.
Joseph, let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this question, brother.
Turn up the heat.
Joseph, let me ask you this question. You say people are crying out. Do you think them taking those weapons out, shooting up those schools, or shooting at each other, or killing each other, is that a means of them crying out, or is that how you tying that together? Help me understand it.
Yes, sir. I believe these are just symptoms of a deeper sickness in this society. Yeah, I believe that. I believe suicide rate. I think out of the 45,224 gun deaths in 2020, it is said that 29,000 of them were suicides. So those are symptoms of a sick society.
Wow.
Okay, and the pressure coming out of Washington D.C. is felt on the ground, and people are responding. And we got all these PhDs in sociology, PhDs in psychology, and every other science, and yet they can't heal the society. That just tells you that they are prioritizing. People are prioritizing. You know, when I used to look in the encyclopedia of the countries down in the South America, and I looked through the encyclopedia to see the makeup of the population, and whoever wrote the encyclopedia made it very clear that they wanted to show the quality of that country based on how many white folks live there. Costa Rica, for instance. If you go look up Costa Rica and look up the population, it'll break down the number of whites, the mestizos, the indigenous people, the African descent people, and that with that rating, they can rate that country as a place to go on vacation or whatever.
Wow.
That tells you what life matters to them, to the one that's analyzing the data or putting the data together. Yeah, life matters to some a certain way, but we have to, make life matter to us, and we have to put the value on life for us. And it should be in our music, it should be in our writings, our poetry, and it should be in the way we teach our children. Everything, we should control everything about us. All the propaganda, we should refute it and, create our own narrative, if you will, to instill value in our children, and arrest it. Our music used to reflect that. If you go back and listen to the old black soul music, if I had a choice of color, which one would I choose, my brother? If you go back, though you may not drive a great big Cadillac, diamond in the back, just be thankful. Our music talked to us. Man, my theology came from black music when I was a little boy.
Wow.
All my theology.
Okay. Stay right there, Joseph. Stay right there. I want to pull some more people into the conversation. Don't you go nowhere. You stay right there, man. I want to keep this thing going. Let me go to Badger. Got another caller on the phone line. I'm going to go to the next caller as well. Badger, what's on your heart right now?
Okay. Man, I agree with Joseph. Like, life should matter more than it does.
Let me do this before you go any further. I just put on the screen, if anybody that's watching us, and the people that's not watching us actually just listening, 988 is the new national suicide is the new national suicide and crisis lifeline. 988. All you do, you ain't got to remember a whole lot of numbers. Just 988. Dial it on your own, and someone will be there to help you. Go ahead, Badger.
There's a lot of amazing music out there that is very uplifting and, positive vibes, but that's not the main music that's put on TV or shows. There's so much need for mental health. That, like, even in the gaming, most of the gaming communities I'm a part of have such strict policies on toxicity that they ban people for being toxic if they're after a certain amount of times being warned. And to me, it is more diplomatic in gaming. Now think, these are people playing video games, yet they're more, even the younger people are more diplomatic and concerned about the well-being of another human being than most of the rest of America. Pretty much every Discord group I'm a part of has a mental health channel. Suicide hotlines are always up there. Matter of fact, I was talking to Leonard yesterday about this, and there's actual counselors and therapists that are licensed, that are playing video games and that are in these Discords helping people for free. What a concept, huh? Those horrible video games. Sarcasm, by the way.
Absolutely.
Oh.
And we get people on here every day that want to help each other for free, and counselors, actual counselors that come on here every day and they say, you know, just give me a call, I'll help you, I do this for you, I do that for you.
Yep.
And it's an outlet, man, because people are in need of help right now, man. People are and I want to get right back to the question: does life matter? If it matters, would we be in this situation? Will we extend our hand to help each other if life really matters?
And that's what I was turning back to, is I've seen more respect for life in gaming communities lately than I have on the news, and to be honest, in the outside world, in a lot of ways.
Wow.
Because every time you look at politicians and different things like that, like, it's so hard to get people to vote based on life instead of greed.
That's good. That's good.
And there's so much separation that's being used, and there's so much trauma that's in America, that's not just in America but around the world, that there's a lot of folks that have been misdirected or under a type of illusion, either out of ignorance or not knowing any better. I don't know. It took me a while to even think of the concept that arrogance is part of the equation. Like, they honestly just aren't educated well enough to understand how much mental health in life really matters.
Absolutely.
Why does it matter how we raise our kids? Why does it matter, you know, having adequate medical and mental health care? Those things matter in life. And back then, you know, people that worked in medicine did it for free.
Wow.
You know, people just gave them things, going, thank you for your help, thank you for serving the community in this way. What happened to those days? Now it's, oh, you need to seek therapy, it's $100 an hour.
Wow. Hold on right there, Badger. Let's keep this thing going. I want to go to Curtis. Curtis, good morning, sir. We got another caller as well. Gonna go to the next caller as well. Then we're gonna circle our way right back around. So everybody, please be patient with me this morning. We've got quite a few people on, so please be patient with me. Curtis, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Morning, man. Morning.
Curtis, we asking the question, brother. We asking the question, man. Good to have you with us this morning. We asking the question, man. Does life matter? We're not talking about black lives, white lives, blue lives, purple, polka dot, whatever. We're not talking about that. We're not categorizing, but we're asking as a whole, because with everything that's going on, all these shootings and mass killings and school shootings and people running over each other and all kind of things, man. Curtis, does life matter? What do you say to that?
No, because God don't matter.
Come on.
Well, ain't nowhere else to go about that. God don't matter. He don't matter no.
Wow.
He don't matter for people. People have gotten so far away from feeding their spirit that this is the end result. People so busy feeding their flesh. You know, we so busy feeding our flesh, man, that it don't even matter what God thinks anymore, man. You know, we accept ignorance and hypocrisy as an acceptable behavior as long as it's bad connected to it. If it's a bad connected to it, then we have an excuse for allowing for this ignorance to exist. We'll keep all in line with the ignorance if it's a bad connected to it.
Wow.
There used to be a saying when I was growing up, everybody has a price. And I always had a problem with that. I always had a problem with that. My daddy used to say it, well, everybody got a price. And And I'll come with that, man. Because if you willing to do anything just to get a couple dollars, or just to be called rich, then what kind of human being are you, man?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, nah, life don't matter because God don't matter. If God matters, God is life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, somewhere I ain't no biblical scholar, but somewhere I read I am the way, the truth, and the what? The life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So now, it don't matter because God don't matter. You got a bunch of people questioning, you know, like they question everything about God. They question God's motives. If God was real, why he do this or why he, I don't know. I'm not God. When you die, go ask him.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that you have a blatant disregard for human life says to me that you have a blatant disregard for God.
Wow. 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We got quite a few people that's actually on hold right now. I'm gonna try to make my way around to each and every one of you, and with everybody that's already here, I certainly want each and every one of you to stay with us because there's a lot to talk about this morning. Let me go to, I'm trying to figure out who is the next person that called in. Mr. Hicks, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, Raheem. Good morning, good family. I'm doing fine. Pray Ray's doing fine.
Yes, sir. Asking a question, Mr. Hicks, and we're not categorizing this thing at all. We're not talking about black lives, white lives, blue, purple, orange, polka dot, or green. We're not talking about that. We're asking a question with everything that's going on, with all the killings and people acting the way they acted in this day and time. Does life matter? What do you say to that, Mr. Hicks?
Does life matter? Wow, I wish I'd have listened to it. I want to piggyback off what Kurt said because I feel what he's saying in the sense of there was this metaphysical teacher out there in the 1930s in California, Dr. Ernest Holmes. He created the whole science of mind thing, and he connected everything to a person's thought pattern. He had treatment that would give spiritual mind treatments to people. And the thing he said that always interested me, and this about 20 years ago when I first ran across it, longer than that actually, and is that what we see happening in the material world is a reflection of what's going on in this spiritual, and what we can't see. I don't watch many movie shows and stuff like that. I just don't. But I did recently just to get a feel, because talking with people like this, I had a feel of some of these movies. It really shocked me when I saw all of these movies with these cold killers on it. I mean, people just pulling, doing it. You can't do it. I mean, shooting behind their back, killing, just walking by, kill, boom, 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 killing. And it makes me, just like you said, we watch the news, we see all these incidents that going to inspire us to have fear. For our health, we go out in the world, fear for things. And I think about the thing that Job said, the spiritual gem for me is that which I fear is coming upon me. Rooted in Job was a fear of these bad things happening. This society, everything, all these, when it says that this is Satan's kingdom, right? This whole world now is created around the thing that is Darwin's theory of evolution, survival of the fittest. They looked at the animal nature, look at the lions killing the gazelle and how all these things, and they applied that to society. So they put our spotlight on what they want us to focus on. So you turn to you. It'd be great to have a news station where nothing on the station, probably a good idea for us, right? Is nothing but good stuff.
Yeah.
What's the good stuff that's happening? Because you would make, they're creating an atmosphere of fear where all we think about is the bad stuff. And as a man thinketh, so is he.
Come on.
So if you walk around believing that you're in a every man for himself, survival of the fittest, and taking advantage of weak, which is the world is built on. You value your own survival now, and at the expense of anyone else. And I'm talking from experience.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you have to do a mental thing in your head to pull that trigger, throw that knife. You got to be in a certain place of hate and anger.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you have to call on it. And when you call on it to do what you want to do to this person, you think it's over. But what you do clings to you.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how you try to erase it, or how you try to put it in a closet, it's always going to peek out. But there's something inside of you that you know instinctively that every person you see got a spark of God in them.
Yeah. Wow. That's good, brother. That's good. That's good. I think we have Friday. Friday, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. How you doing?
Hey, doing good, sis. Asking a question, and I want to hear your heart on this right here. Does life matter? We're not talking about black lives, white lives, blue lives, orange, polka dot, or blue, or purple. We're not asking that as a whole, with all the stuff that's going on, all the stuff that you see on the news every day. Friday, does life matter?
Life does matter. And it matters because we are to continue to produce more life, not compete to take it away. And I think that unfortunately there's a lot of principalities that people want to ignore that's driving some of the behavior of having the discontent of life and then projecting that onto other people by taking their lives or thinking that their life has less value than theirs. But when I last checked, we all breathe air and breathe blood. And so that in itself speaks to, that love is a miracle because our existence is evidence that for whatever reason, we have a difficult time expressing that to one another. Because I think if we spend more time on those principalities and principles, we would have a better view that life matters. It's always been puzzling to me that interesting, I should say. It's less puzzling now, but it is quite interesting that we have to spend so much time to prove what someone wrote about other people, speaking in terms of the Constitution, than what their daily interaction and belief, understanding of life shows them, that we are complete humans. And because that mindset that individuals are less than, that has bred this continuum of thinking that life is just something that someone else has the right to take away.
508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. Rico, talk to me, brother. Got a lot going on right now.
Yeah, where we at, man? I mean, I sort of got off a little bit because I thought you said you were going to hit. I just got off. I just finished talking to the dude, told me his dad died, man. So I was sort of lost for a second. So I'm talking to him.
Okay.
Going back around, right? Back around.
Okay. Let me what we're doing now, we still in the same place, and we're talking about does life matter, and everybody point out some very valuable points on what it is and on their argument about whether life matters or not. And some of the things, man, is real difficult to grasp onto, because how could life actually matter if one individual could point a weapon at another individual and pull the trigger and watch them fall before them on the street? If one individual could mistreat a person in all kind of different ways, sexually, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, in all kind of different ways, but yet and still we want to believe that life matters. And I'm not saying that it does not matter, but I just want to hear your heart on that.
Well, I don't know if you heard me or not, but then I just had the biggest and best example of how much life does matter.
Yeah, yeah.
When you lose a loved one. I mean,
Exactly.
I just walked up on this man
Mm-hmm.
and telling me that, you know, man, I was about to go to work, but I decided that I couldn't go. It wouldn't be good because I just got a phone call that my dad died. But he lived a long life. He was 82 years old. So, you know, I told my daughter it was all right. But when she started crying, I started crying. I was like, yeah, because even though he did make it 82 years, that's still your daddy. You know, you still won't be able to talk to him again forever. And she won't be able to call him and say the little things that they say to each other. I said, so, you know, you're going to cry, man. You know, he started crying then.
Mm-hmm.
And that really goes to show you, you know, then just how important life is, just how much life matters to people. You know, those that, man, I tell you what, lose a loved one, lose a child.
Yeah, yeah.
Or fear that you're gonna lose one. Like I'm in fear that I'm gonna lose my child. You know, his life is important. You know, my life is important. You know, but if I don't catch myself, you know what I'm saying, her life is gonna start feeling less important. I have to catch myself.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't want to be the one responsible for, you know what I'm saying, causing his pain and bringing sorrow to his life by something happening to his mother by my hand.
Mm-hmm.
I love him too much.
Yeah, yeah.
So I have to think, you know what I'm saying, about how important life is, regardless of how mad I get or how far in despair I get. And sometimes I feel like if I don't, then I ain't going to save him. That might be the only way I can save him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have to fight those thoughts and those battles when you get desperate. When things get dire and you feel like, okay, man, it's life or death, win or lose, this is it. If I don't do something now, this is gonna be the end result. You know, you have to start thinking about just how valuable life is and whose life is valuable. You know, I like what everybody's been saying, man. You know, these corporations, how they just treat us as numbers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the medical industry. You know, politics, you know, just think about some of the things that we have to go and politic on, the things we have to advocate on behalf of, you know, to government.
Mm-hmm.
It's about the logical, humane things that if you ask yourself, what would Jesus do? That the answer would be simple.
Yeah.
But, you know, I like what everybody's saying, man. Joseph said that about the music earlier, man. You know, I love listening to my Marvin Gaye, What's Going On.
Yes, sir.
I love listening to my Curtis Mayfield.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was telling somebody yesterday, man, it's funny that if you really think about the true leaders and the true ancestors from the past that got us to where we are now and that really stood for something and got us out of the situation that we was in, they were sincere, genuine soldiers, and they wasn't billionaires.
Mm-hmm.
They was wealthy, but they was wealthy from the charity of people that they did their good deeds for. They're not these people now that are being rewarded for speaking debauchery or double speaking.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of double speak going on right now, you know. Those things that used to be important aren't important anymore, so you don't hear that in the music.
Yeah.
You know, you hear about the drilling and the killing, the selling dope and the stacking up the money and the Balenciagas. You know, I mean, it's just so many material things that people put that's more important to people, and you still can't even discuss the making of atomic bombs. I mean, you know, I've been confused ever since I was young at how sick in the head somebody could be to come up with a weapon so destructive.
Yep.
What mind could you have to say, you know what, man, even though I might be at odds with this country leader with their policies, I want to create a bomb so big that it just kill a mass number of people that didn't have nothing to do with nothing.
Yep. Innocent people just dying. Yep. Yep.
I mean, and then, well, that's a part of war.
Mm-hmm.
Collateral damage, you just expendable. No, man, I don't get that. So this is the world we live in.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Where we make things acceptable that shouldn't be acceptable. And then we only say, what would Jesus do when it's convenient?
Mm-hmm. Wow. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Ibrahim, talk to me, brother.
People must prove to the people.
Oh Lord, Ibrahim. Now Ibrahim want to sing. Lord Jesus. Where my mute button? Where my mute button at?
Thanks to Rico, Mr. Hicks, and Badger, and another gentleman. You know, Mr. Hicks, he's old school. Mm-hmm. You know, I hear him speak, and it's just like a life I live, right? But let me answer some people's problem. We talk about principalities, and we talk about who's doing all this, right? You know, like I said, one thing you can have from a black person is put it in a book and read it, or follow an investigation, you know, a very in-depth investigation. And I can name one person, and the difference between when I was coming up and up to the 80s and what you see now in the news, I can name one man, Rupert Murdoch.
Mm-hmm.
Rupert Murdoch. Look at his policy that he had for news, right? Rupert Murdoch. Look at the British news, right? Look at the American news, the way we see it, Rupert Murdoch. The opinions that we make, right? Rupert Murdoch. The president, the kingmaker, Rupert Murdoch. He made, you know, so I can name one man, right? And his ideas, his concept, and how he took over. A British man, no foreign entity is supposed to own a bunch of newspapers and TV shows, right? He's on CNN now. I don't know if y'all seen the difference between CNN like it used to be and it is now. You know, CNN and Fox News. And Fox was written two types of. I tell you what, the CNN used to be just like Fox News headline news is now. You know, at least they talked about news before they started doing these editorializations, right? So getting back to what everybody, when I say lives matter, right? And I preface that because, you know, I'm a sheep. I care less for the lives of the wolf or the billy goat. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm the sheep. I'm a black sheep with a bunch of other black sheep. And what matters to me for my survival matters to the survival of all of us. You know, the wolf want to eat me. I think I forgot what it says in Psalms. They talk about the shepherds of the sheep eating the sheep, eating their own flock, and eating the food that comes to them. It consuming all of this in lieu of guiding the sheep they take from them, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So, you know, we could go over and over again about this, but lives do matter. And I want to say that I want y'all to pray for the people in St. Louis. And that school shooting, where that beautiful 16-year-old black girl is dead, 7 others injured, but you know why we're going to see more of it, and it's going to disappear within a couple of news cycles? That's because a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white woman, one of the teachers of or something like that, was also killed. Now, we're going to see it over and over again. But if you think I'm lying, you see, look at all the kidnapping took place in the last year. How many black people you see on a major news cycle? How many dog-haired white people you see on a major news cycle being kidnapped and everybody won't be returned? You get a blonde-haired, blue, and I'm talking about white, black, Hispanic, everybody. You get a blonde-haired, blue-eyed person on that screen, right? Everybody's going to go to hell, even cool black people. You get a black person on that screen, including us, right? We're going to talk about the problems. You know, that they were put in a bad environment. They killed because they was there. The economic, social status, they was there. Because of lack of education, they was there. And we care nothing about life. If you care nothing about a child dying in the black community, being killed and stuff, and it's just passé. And we talk about how moral we are, and right now people are starving to death in Northern Africa, and America is bombing people over in North Africa. They're starving to death. Right off there. And we talking about Africa right here in our own backyard. The people of Haiti are in a hell of a situation. They're starving to death. They're killing each other. They have lost their minds over there, right? And guess what, right? What have we provided to the people of Haiti, right? The people of Cuba, right? They had some of one of the largest population of doctors in the world per person, right? They went over to the AIDS virus. They went over to the different parts of Africa and different countries, right? About SARS and all like that.
30 seconds.
And the Ebola virus, you know. Mm-hmm. But you know what? We don't care about life. We care about our comfort. We care about what we see. We want to be pleased, and we want to be pleasing. We want to be comparison. We want to be equal to, right? But we care nothing about life. Right now, if a kid starves, he's gonna blame his parents. You know, we talk about welfare. Oh, them sorry shit for some of them homeless people. Blah, blah, blah. But we ignore the kid. We know the kids. I'm gonna hold some disrespect because the parent didn't go out and get a job. The parent don't jerk, and I'm gonna let the kids starve. What kind of sensibility is that? Black Lives Matter. Because we see them every day. We ignore them. We go on TV. They want to make our opinions about life and people's attitude, how they is. My daddy said one thing to me over and over again: there but the grace of God go out. There but the grace of God go out. I could be in that same situation. I could be that great man. And one person I followed was Marcus Garvey. In the bridge, and y'all hate me when I say that anybody could be a Martin King and all that. Y'all don't understand. But let me tell you what Marcus Garvey said. Marcus Garvey was going around South America, and he came upon the Panama Canal. And see all these great works and everything being done by people from his island, all black people around South America and the Black Island. And he said, he looked upon them, he said, these people they will labor and they will not even benefit from their own labors. He said, where is the black man?
Exactly. Hold on, Ibrahim. Hold on. We got to keep it moving, brother. Hold on. Stay right there. Keep that thought. I'm going to come back to you. And I want you to finish that thought because I want people to hear it. But I got to be fair to everybody else. So let me go to Curtis. Curtis, what's on your heart, brother?
Oh, man, you can let Ibrahim. I can't remember the last thing that Rico said, but the last thing Rico said is sparked a message, but I can't remember what he said. So you can go on stick with Ibrahim.
Okay. Now I just say I got to be fair to everybody. You're going to send me right back to where I just came from. Look at you, Curtis. Man, what I'm going to do with you, brother? What I'm going to do with you? Let me go to Cassandra. Cassandra, good morning. How you doing this morning? Cassandra, you there? Cassandra, are you there? Joseph, talk to me, brother.
Oh man, some good meat coming across the table. Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister of Canada, has banned handguns in Canada. Banned the buying of handguns. Not assault weapons. That's banned too, probably. But he's banning handguns. Now over here, the racists cry out when you talk about guns. He talks about, you're not going to touch my Second Amendment. That's what the racists cry out. Because reasonable white American, black American, all Americans know that we don't need this many guns on the streets in America in a civil society. They know that we don't need automatic weapons, assault weapons, same weapons that I handled in the military on the streets of America because it's a civil society. We're not at war. Most reasonable Americans know that. But the racist screams out about the Second Amendment because the racists know, just as the Impressions used to sing that song, the same thing it took to get your baby, it's going to take the same thing to keep her. It took violence for America to take this country from the indigenous people. And it took violence to try to suppress the slaves. It took violence to try to keep everybody in their place. And that's why the racist mindset really feels that don't touch my guns because I might need them again. Because if we keep on down the road that we're on, it's going to lead to violence. But in answer to your question, does all life matter? No. Look at it again. These people want a country that represents just them and their values, and everyone else can be subjugated to them. If you will, they want a white utopia or a white nationalist America, which goes contrary to the foundation of the country. So in that regard, and I also look at Brother Kanye, because money, as the brother said, means everything in this country. But what good is it to be a billionaire and don't have a voice? You can't speak. You're neutered, right? You on a leash. Michael Jackson was loved around the whole world. When he came home, he was on a leash. And he recognized how he was being cheated out of his money. And when he put that Jew Me, Sue Me in that song, those with power stopped promoting the Butterfly album. You go back and look at that. And also Michael's no longer with us. Prince bucked against the system. Wrote Slave on his face.
Yeah.
Our brother's no longer with us.
Mhm.
Decades earlier, Sam Cooke tried to start his own record label and publishing company, and the lawyer that he chose did the paperwork so the money would come to him and not Sam. But look at Sam's gone.
Mhm.
Anytime black folks try to ascend to a place of power, there are those who watch carefully to knock him back down. That's what Sam Cooke means when he said, I go to my brother and I said, brother, help me, please. And he says, but I find him knocking me back down on my knees, right?
Mhm.
Knocking him back down on his knees. Why? Because,
My brother.
yeah.
Help me, please.
Oh Lord, see that. How in the world we don't get into another doggone concert?
Back down on my knees. Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Hey, but see, that's the words in the song. The words in the song. He was telling us then how the system was.
Mm-hmm.
And see, Sam was telling us then that all life don't matter.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's why I love our music so much. That's why I love thought out music. You know, Marvin, brother mentioned Marvin Gaye. Our music is thought out. You know, John Coltrane and you know, all our brothers in the jazz. The music was thought out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's prophetic.
Exactly.
And it still has prophetic value.
Absolutely.
But anyway, but
brother, take this one little thing. See, a lot of people don't know.
Hold on. Let me, I gotta.
Don't let him have it. I'll say my piece.
Okay, hold on. Hold on, Ibrahim. Ibrahim, hold on, brother. Okay, Ibrahim ain't gonna stop him. I'm trying. I gotta do something right now because we got Cassandra just for a limited amount of time. Cassandra, you there? Cassandra, are you there?
Good morning. Yeah.
Good morning. I know you on set and we only have you for a limited amount of time. I try to tell them that, but you know they ain't listening this morning. They they ain't listening. But Cassandra,
what was the question?
Well, we're talking about does life matter? We're not talking about black lives, white lives, blue lives, orange or purple or polka dot. We're talking about does life matter? And with everything that's going on, when you look at the news, all these killings, these mass killings, these school shootings, and people that's dying at the hand of each other. Cassandra, I just want to hear your heart when you answer this question. Does life matter?
I mean, it does matter, but we are now in a society where people are so desensitized. And when I say people, I'm talking black, white, green, orange. People are just desensitized to caring about somebody else. We're in a me, my, four, and no more mode. And then some people are just in a me mode. It's all about me, what I want, what I desire. I don't care nothing about y'all. Boom, 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 boom. And until we can get I don't mean to, go here, but the only place that we are going to find that is through the love of God. Now, when I say the love of God, that's the love of Buddha or whoever it is that you worship. If you truly are serving, other than Lucifer, if you're truly serving the God that you say that you serve, then why is it that the love is not being, you know what I'm saying? That should be the foremost thing. It's how you treat people. Every religion just about is based on how you treat your fellow man. So until we get back to that point, we will continue to have the same mass destruction, mass incarceration, mass everything evil, because people don't care about people. It's all about people, how you feel about people.
Wow.
And y'all, I'm getting ready to go on set, so I'm not going to be able to stay on.
Cassandra, I appreciate you. There you go. Break a leg.
Thank you so much.
Exactly.
All right. Y'all have a good one.
And you do the same. You do the same. Willa!
Good morning, Ryan. Good morning, On Fire.
Good morning. Yeah, absolutely, man. We got a good one going on this morning. I need to hear your heart. Sister, does life matter? We're not talking about black. We're not categorizing talking about black lives, white lives, blue, orange, purple, polka dot, or any of that. We're talking about does life matter with all these killings that's going on, that's happening every day. You see it, and you in Chicago. You up there in Chicago, so I know you see it every day as well. So I'm asking the question: does life matter?
Oh, most definitely. It does matter, Raheem. But unfortunately, those who are blessed with their life don't understand how life works and how it does matter.
Mm-hmm.
See, everybody on here made a statement about whether it was a movie or a book or whether it was a person. And if you think about, and I always like to go to the root cause of all of it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think about it, you think about all those things are mind transforming things. Somebody said something about mental health.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you think about it, when somebody's in the hospital and they're on life support, that's because their brain or something in their head has stopped and it's not enabling you to be conscious or to live. But because your heart, you can have problems with your heart and your mind is still going and you're still living.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
the life is in the mind. It's in your mind. You're living the way you're thinking, the way you're being transformed to understand this life that we live.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
it does matter because the way you intake as an individual, just like you said earlier, no matter what color you are,
Mm-hmm.
the way you intake through that mind, it determines the quality of how respectable you are to life.
Mm-hmm.
Because you got to remember this one thing, Raheem, that this life here is transformed into another.
Mm-hmm.
So when you understand and you got that knowledge of what kind of factor does it play in the reality of who and what we really are?
Yes.
You got to go back to your maker. Come
Mm-hmm.
on now, Raheem.
Mm-hmm.
Come
on. Let's talk about it.
Raheem.
Yes. Yes.
And
Mm-hmm. Good deal. Badger, what's on your heart, brother? Talk to me. Badger, you there?
Okay, it's bloody mute button.
I got you. Talk to me, brother.
I was sitting here listening to everything, and I don't know. It almost sounds like it's hard to have a certain perspective for all life, depending on experience.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes any sense. So I was
It
sitting
does.
here listening to some of the things that are being said and stuff, and even I have to catch myself doing it because of, all the indigenous stuff and my experiences with, being autistic in America, especially in Texas. But I have to fight some really nasty thoughts when it comes to some of the politicians and things because, here's the thing about the life topic. I can acknowledge that I am also guilty of wanting to wish harm, if not take the life of another human being.
Mm-hmm.
I'm willing to own it and accept that that is something that I have to constantly work on and make sure I don't do. Because what I folks and a lot of politicians and things that go, in my opinion, out of their way to hurt another human being, it's really hard to fight back some emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when, seeing, my wife and kids going through certain things, and then I turn around and see another family, their kids are going through the same things that my kids are going through as far as being denied services and stuff. And I have a huge respect for all life.
Mm-hmm.
And however, temptation is definitely there. I was also very suicidal for a lot of my life.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, the biggest thing that started to help me see the world differently was seeing the righteousness that the people that do their best to live in a righteous manner.
Mm-hmm.
The help other human beings, to uplift other human beings that go out of their way, will take the shirt off their back and stuff. And it gave me hope that humanity does still have good people in it. And for a while, I thought we were just far and few in between. So
Wow.
I can understand and relate to being angry at a particular group of people as much as the next person.
Wow.
However, does it make it right?
No. 508. No. 508-923. 508-923-45924. I'm sorry. 3521. Give us a call. Phone lines are open. Again, 508-924-3521. Phone lines are open. Let me go to Mr. Hicks. Mr. Hicks, what's on your heart, brother? Talk to me.
If there's hell below, we're all gonna go.
Oh, Lord. Everybody want to sing this morning, man. Everybody want to sing this morning. What is going on?
I just thought about that song and what we were saying, but I want to say one thing, right? I'm a veteran. I'm what you call black man in America, right?
Yes.
And I believe in the Second Amendment. I believe in the Second Amendment. I believe that life is important. Life is so important that you have to defend your life in the life of your loved ones. I think part of the process is once you get a criminal record, right, you don't have the right to vote anymore. You don't have the right to bear arms. So that's fair. Could be fair. But anyway, in Canada, Trudeau, he's trying to disarm the people because everybody revolt against him. He's the guy that made in the speech that he looked at how the Chinese are doing. They don't have the problems he has. He's the making of a tyrant. But those blank statements that everybody believes in the Second Amendment is racist is ludicrous. When systems fall down, when governments fall, when it all comes apart, the only thing you have to defend yourself against the evil in men's heart. I'm talking about your neighbors, people live across the road. When things fall down, if you don't have the ability to defend yourself, they'll run through you.
Let me ask you this question, Mr. Hicks. Let me ask you this question, sir.
Yes, sir.
And I understand what you're saying. I'm not going to dispute what you're saying, because that's your opinion, and you have the right to have your opinion.
Yes, sir.
But let me ask you this question: if that be the case, and everybody get out there and we go back to the Wild Wild West days, man, and we just shooting each other down in the streets, and man, it's gonna be a heck of a result behind that. Just shooting each other down, man.
It's already happened though. I mean, we are at war. There's a war. They call it a culture war. There's a war going on right now in this point in history. People are shooting each other down in the street. That's what the thing. I was watching a video where a lady in New York was walking. A white man was walking, and this brother was standing there. As he walked down the line, he pushed him down, not to rob him, not to get anything. He pushed him down to kill him. But it says in this time, I'm landing the plane. I'm landing the plane, as Curtis said, right? It said that there'll come a time when men will run to the mountains, tell the mountains to fall on them. They'll try to get in the deepest part of the ocean. They'll try to run from what's coming. God is not mocked. As you sow, so shall you reap. That's nation. That's to people in nations. That's the individuals. That's the everything. We're creating this here. We're creating this, like Curtis said, because we stepped away from the strength that carried us through all the hard times of slavery, discrimination, all of it. We had a faith. We had a faith in a God that they tried to give us. They tried to give us the God, but we grabbed onto something that even awed them. They were awed in slavery. What kind of people is this? What kind of people is this?
Wow.
So there's always been this struggle against the one that dealt out of the hatred of his experience. It was real. I understand anger. I understand being caught on the left side and want to do the worst things. But then they were on the other side, they're saying patience. We got to do this way. No, we're going to do it this way. So that's the point we're in now. I believe the struggle, the greatest jihad, or the greatest war, is going inside ourselves now to be a light.
Mm-hmm.
When I say a light, I mean to have the kind of powers to walk in a place and change the atmosphere, because you're letting the love of the Creator flow through you.
30 seconds. Mm-hmm.
But I'm out.
Yes, sir. Hold right there. We're gonna come right back to you. We're gonna actually go in this order right here. We're gonna go Rico, Ibrahim, then we're gonna go to Curtis. Rico, what's on your heart, brother?
Yeah, I think everybody's knocking it out the park, man. I mean, you know, now the thing about the Second Amendment, I don't know if Joseph meant it that way, but the way I took it is that he was saying that the racists use the Second Amendment as a tool.
Mm-hmm.
But really and truly, you know what I'm saying, their argument is based behind racism. Because I think, you know, to a certain extent, we do favor the Second Amendment. You know, I had somebody try to kill me one time. I used to be against guns.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't even like to shoot squirrels. I don't even like hunting. But somebody tried to kill me one time, man. Loaded my car up with 7.62 from an SKS. Something bigger than me pulled me out of that, because out of all the bullets that hit my car was one that should have hit me, but for some reason it didn't come through and penetrate the way that it did. God. But after that, you know what I realized? I got to get me one of them, because they don't play fair. You can't whoop nobody no more. People don't like taking whoopings. They violent. It's a violent world, and guess what? I'm in it. I ain't got no choice now. Give me one of them things. I got one. Couple of them.
Mm-hmm.
But it don't take you to have 20 or 30. You don't need a stockpile. You got other motives. We still have to fight. I mean, we have to use the things available to survive.
Yeah.
Because though that is the atmosphere we live in now. This is the environment. We live in a dangerous environment. Been going on since these people got Marco Polo went around the world and did what he did. But somehow, when they came up with that, that made life more expendable, because it made it so much easier for you to impose your will on somebody that didn't have them same type of weapons. Either they could conform, what they call it, get down or lay down. That's what Marco Polo them did way back in the day. And it's been successful. It works. And some people don't like to mess up a good thing. So now, with that being said, this momentum that has been picked up from that mindset that people got rich off of, making lives expendable, selling oil to Germans so they could cook Jews in ovens, or however you want to call it, gas them, creating inventions where you could gas a mass number of human beings. Like I said yesterday, there's some black people too.
Mm-hmm.
They don't mention that part. So, you know, we live in an environment, man, where, you know, we have to acknowledge that we have to sort of live with our head on a swivel, even though, you know, we have some very good things going on and we can get distracted, you know, and get caught up in being intoxicated by the illusion of the American dream. But then we find out, we go up in the grocery store and somebody come in there and knock us off because we black, and then it don't make as much news as everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
It just dies so quick. You know, Ibrahim said something huge, man. I don't know if y'all remember the crack laws.
Yeah.
And all the, you know, I had a little cousin that was born in prison. They didn't have no sympathy. They didn't want no therapy or no rehab. They wanted to just lock them up. Lock them up. And that's what they did to my aunt. They got hooked on the dope that they created.
Mm-hmm.
And then through COINTELPRO spread amongst the masses of people. And so we don't want to treat them. We don't want to. We don't even want to fix the problem that created the super predators. We just want to lock them up, get them off the street so my grandmother could be safe. Creating these conditions that we got to live in. So, you know, man, this life we living in, man, whoo, man, it's hard. I mean, I put it to you this way. If you don't realize what's going on, sometimes when you find out, you wish you can go back to not knowing. I got a friend right now, white dude. Him getting to know me, man, he done started seeing some things a different way and understanding and not realizing what's going on. And he told me about a week ago, probably about a month ago, man, I didn't really see how this life was going and how things was going on for other people and read between the lines. He said, I almost sort of hate that I see it now. because I find myself not being as happy. Now I realize what's going on. Even, when I do think about the stuff that's going on with me, this is what he said. When he thinks about the stuff that's going on with him, he realizes now the system that's in place and the atmosphere and the environment that we live in that makes everybody expendable.
30 seconds.
By class and by race and so many different categories. It's expendable to who, though? That's the thing about it. Expendable to who?
Exactly. Wow, gonna keep this thing going. We got who we got up next? Ibrahim, Curtis, then we're gonna go to Joseph, and then we got another caller as well. So Ibrahim, what's on your heart, brother?
All right, you still got me blocked?
Man, well,
hello.
Ibrahim.
Okay, you got me? All right.
Okay,
listen. now, hello?
Go ahead. We can hear you. Go ahead, brother. We hear you.
Okay, yeah. All right. Thanks, Rico. And
I know, man.
I feel some kind of way. Well, Rico said a lot of things, but he talks from a lot of emotion too. But he hits a lot of key points, and he reads. I can tell he reads. His interpretation might be like this. I'm about to tell you, read.
How you gonna get a man a backhand compliment, man? Compliment the man, leave it right there, man. How you gonna get a man a backhand compliment?
The truth without compassion hurts. I understand that. I'm just speaking the truth.
Lord, Jesus, man, look, just go ahead, Ibrahim. What we talking about? Does life matter? Let's talk about that, brother. Let's talk about that.
Okay, look. For me, right there, now the way I feel about the Second Amendment right, Alameen is in prison right now trying to get out of prison. That's H. Rap Brown. He took care of his community. But that was against the law, taking care of your community, keeping crack out your community. Because that interferes with the money, that interferes with the police union, all this kind of thing, right? You can keep communities on yourself. Another man is seeking trial release from prison. And that's Jay Johnson of the NFAC coalition, right? He's trying to seek freedom. People ran to him as long as he was displaying, they could walk and take pictures. But now the man's been unlawfully put in jail by reasons that are just, are stupid compared to January 6th. Them people can't even get a year. He's looking for 20 years of life. You know what I mean? And the people that did all that January 6th are getting slapped on the wrist, getting 3 months, a year, 3 years. But now, the Second Amendment right? It's about militia. It's not about individual things. But in these days and time, am I coming up? A black man without a gun is a victim. A black woman without a gun is a victim. And knowing how to use a gun, you ain't got to carry it with you all the time. But when time comes, where you gonna stand at? You know what I mean? Because ain't nobody will come to you and say, "Well, we talking about your rights and we pray." Now their God say their God might say they supposed to remove all the sin and evil in the dictionary. What does black mean in the dictionary? Foreboding, evil. So. By any civilized man or uncivilized person or a savage or being presented as a savage should be removed. Obviously, Native American or the black Aborigines, indigenous people. That's what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And so we don't understand this, right? So, I don't want to carry a gun around. You don't have to carry a gun around. I don't want to accidentally have to shoot some black person because they find I got something that they want and they just want to take it from. I don't want to shoot a black man. I will give my life, but I'm not gonna let everybody else die. I'm gonna let somebody next person die because I didn't take what I need to do to stop this here. I'm gonna let a woman on the street getting killed or beat, a man or a child getting taken, snatched, because I didn't have the proper tools to defend myself and them or my community. I don't care if my community is half white or 80% white. You know what I mean? Or whatever. That's my community. I'm gonna defend and protect that. You know what I'm saying? I would protect life.
Mm-hmm.
So my children's lives matter. You know what I mean? And like I said, I pray again for the people in St. Louis and this local children and that pretty young 16-year-old girl getting ready to turn 16. Her life was taken. And that's what's important to me, right?
Yes, sir.
If we don't stand up for ourselves and understand that we hear these things about life, we hear about the Muslims. Everybody hates Muslims, and some of you never seen a Muslim. Some of you know what Quran says. They show 3 or 4 a dozen people in the whole world that they call terrorists. And they call a whole country terrorists, and they go out there and want to destroy thousands and millions of lives, and then gonna sit up there and raise the Christian flag. That's horrible. That is not in the religion. That is not in the Old Testament, in Torah, Talmud. But we play these things anyway. And we feel confident among ourselves as lives are being taken, the environment, for God's sake. You know, we want to blame the victim and we want to celebrate the perpetrator. You know what I mean? So that's what hurts me, right? That's what hurts me when I hear my people siding with with the perpetrator. The people that want to take and consume. I don't care what color they are. If they take and consume, they're enemy to you. They take and consume and take from you. It's some of the basic things, just air. And you talk about the nuclear bomb. I remember just a few years ago in the 80s when China set up their first nuclear bomb above ground. And it spread I lived in Boston, it spread all the way around the world, over across Boston, and caused us problems. But I also remember every day we had acid rain because of the factories out in the Midwest.
30 seconds.
Around Michigan. All that. I remember that. You know, that was killing people over there. You know, right now, black women are dying, getting cancer because of the hair straightening products. And we don't talk about them lightening creams that people want to be light now. You know, so yeah, life do matter to me. Black lives matter to me.
Good deal.
If Black lives matter, and if my lives, my people matter, all lives matter to me. But how I'm gonna say all people lives and my own people lives don't matter to me?
Good deal.
So
Stay right. Exactly. Stay right there, brother. We gotta keep it moving. Don't go nowhere. Stay right there. We're gonna come right back to you. Right now, we're going to Curtis, Joseph, then Paul. Curtis, what's on your heart, brother?
You know, I done heard a lot of things put out on the station today. But the one thing that I can hear that everybody is saying the same thing is the system. First and foremost, let me say this. This is in my opinion, and I'm not no expert on the matter, but I done read enough to know. For all the black folk that's listening to this phone conversation right now, the Second Amendment does not apply to you. It don't apply to you. Let's just be honest. The second opinion does not apply to us. Every once in a while, we might get a judge who might apply that to us given the situation and the circumstances, like the lady that shot the fireman down there, and I think it was Missouri or something, over there in Missouri or something, right? The Second Amendment does not apply to you. That's why in the state of South Carolina, there's still laws on the books that says that white slave owners could take their guns to church because they were scared that the slaves, when they left to go to church, they were scared that Auntie M was going to tell the slaves, okay, look, master put all the guns is in the cupboard. That's number one. Number two, the power of God, man. I just read, and for the brothers that's Muslims on this line, I hope I say this right, but if I say it wrong, please feel free to correct me. Al-Baqarah, which is the second book in the Quran. America, you need to read that. Al-Baqarah. You need to read that. It directly ties into what we're talking about. Okay, so now I'm going to land this plane on this asphalt that's cracked up.
Bumpy ride, brother.
Two things that I heard everybody say that absolutely correlates to what's going on. One, we talked about gun violence. How much longer? We saying it now. How much longer? And brother just said it. How much longer are we going to hold the victim accountable for what the predator does? Because the question should be, you know, how is these guns getting on the street? Who putting all these guns on the street? Instead of fighting who got the gun, stop the production of the gun, meaning stop the ability for the gun to get to the street. You got military hardware on the street right now, Raheem. Right?
Yes.
And then lastly, I'm just, man, I'm thrown at, and I'm like most of the brothers on here, I'm world traveled too. And I'm reminded of what I've heard others in other countries say about America dating back as far as the Clinton administration.
Mm.
You got
All right. Looks like they froze up everybody. Very interested in what Kurt's saying. There's a lot of facts, and a lot of what's being told is, why is it so easy to purchase firearms? Why is it so easy to do certain things to other human beings? Which, in my view, also ties into what I mentioned earlier about folks in power. They don't want us to get along, and will do anything necessary to push that narrative. And that's what makes a lot of things hard in life, and why it always seems so hard for a lot of us to get along. We all have to learn how to see through the same eyes. See what's actually hurting us and what isn't. What keeps us separated and fighting. What is helpful and what is toxic. And to me, there's a lot involved with those questions. Why is there so much crime in our communities? Oh, they're back, guys.
Yep. I appreciate you, Badger. Appreciate you, brother. We back. Curtis was dropping some knowledge on us, man. We missed a lot of we heard a lot of it before we got cut off, but then we got cut off. But Curtis really well, we heard a lot of, we only been off with like about a minute, 45 seconds actually. So we heard majority of it, we did hear it. Majority of what he said, and we did hear it. He asked a very powerful question: how are the weapons getting on the street? So I want to continue this thing. I'm gonna go to who I got next up. Joseph. Joseph, what's on your heart? We want Joseph, Paul, Willa, and then K with the E. Joseph, what's on your heart, brother?
Yeah, and that's Brother Rico. What he think necessarily rejecting the Second Amendment. And in fact, the Second Amendment calls for a regulated militia, you know, and we didn't have these assault weapons that could shoot so many rounds the way they're doing today with the weapon. But the Georgia governor passed, well, Georgia state legislature passed a bill allowing people to carry weapons without a permit. Texas did it. But they did it because look at the number of black-on-black killings in these states. Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, all across Texas, all across Georgia, Macon, Atlanta, Savannah. These shootings is moving the legislatures. They're not concerned about the safety of the citizens in these states. And the MAGA people are not concerned about the citizens in the whole country. They are blocking any effort to regulate all these guns that have washed America. They don't want to regulate this activity. Now in Canada, they are regulating it. And the brother spoke about living abroad. You know, when I was in Europe for 4 years, off and on, I used to walk to the train station about 3, 4 in the morning. I wasn't
Looks like we're having some connection issues today.
We can't regulate it because we don't control the legislature. We can't come up with policy that could regulate this behavior because we're not in control. And those who are in control don't give a doggone about what happens in the Black community. So the Second Amendment, as the brother said, means nothing to us because during slavery, they made sure that we didn't have access to guns and sharp objects. And after slavery, laws were passed that regulated, the kind of tools and things that we could have. So like the brother said, he's on point. The Second Amendment was never for Black people. And I don't know if I'm coming through, but the Second Amendment was designed for white people to keep those people that they oppressed in check.
Wow.
And that they continue to oppress to this day because the policies of the right-wing extremists lends to depress, oppress Black communities and create this violent climate. They regulate this. They create this violent climate. Yeah, we got mental health going on in our community, so we got to deal with that. Yeah, the crack babies have come of age. We got to deal with that. See, this was all by design. And if we don't wake up and start treating it like that, then every time we have these drive-by shootings, we can't say nothing about it. When they have those mass shootings in schools, all we're gonna do is give our thoughts and prayers and keep on going.
Wow. I heard a few people say that there was a bad echo. Is the echo has it gotten better? Is it better now? Rico, what do you say, brother? Is it better?
Yeah, you got to clear it up on the echo.
Yeah,
I was hearing echo all the way through. That's why I was hesitating.
Okay.
Because I kept getting the echo. It's not. I'm not getting it now.
Okay, it's better. Okay. Okay. Good.
But anyway, that's my truth. But I appreciate every comment, man, because we wrapping our minds around this monster.
Absolutely.
We getting our brains around that because after talking, then there'll be action. You best believe I'm gonna put some of this to action where we at.
Absolutely, and we're gonna do it together, brother. It's a team sport. It's a team sport. Let me go to Paul. Paul, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. Yeah, I was listening off and on since the beginning. So many good comments, but there's a lot of different areas to go down. Like people went down the war on drugs and guns and values and culture and all that, and all of those. I have different things to say about those, but I guess well, I guess I people are probably familiar with this quote, but I just learned about it maybe a few months ago. This is about the war on drugs. John Ehrlichman, the assistant to the president for domestic affairs under President Nixon, he said, "We knew we couldn't make it illegal to be either against the war or Black, but by getting the public to associate hippies with marijuana and Blacks with heroin, and then criminalizing both heavily, we could disrupt those communities. We could we could arrest their leaders, raid their homes, break up their meetings." I mean, it's right there. I mean, there's no question that this country has a explicit agenda to harm the community.
Hey, Paul, I want you to do something for me.
Other communities.
Paul, I need you to say that quote one more time. Say that quote one more time because I want to make sure people heard what you said. Say that one more time.
All right, it's tough. It's tough to read because it's like, man, this affects people's lives.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Read it again.
Let's see. All right. So let me read the whole thing. You want to know what this war on drugs was really about? The Nixon campaign in 1968. Let me read the actual book. We knew we couldn't make it illegal to be either against the war or Black, but by getting the public to associate the hippies with marijuana and Blacks with heroin, and then criminalizing both heavily, we could disrupt those communities. We could arrest their leaders, raid their homes, break up their meetings, vilify them night after night on the evening news. Did we know we were lying about the drugs? Of course we did. So, I mean, the effects of this obviously are still being felt today. You know, all these people in prison for drug crimes. I mean, we need to do something about our drug lives. People do drugs. I mean, it's just a fact. It's a fact of life. We need to treat drug addicts, not vilify drug users.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know about the original thing about we value life. I mean, we give lip service to it, but it's a lot of us, we don't. You know, you have to, like for me, I just try to, you have to stop and smell the roses kind of thing, you know, and then, and realize when people are sending you down the wrong road, you know, like Trump, you know, like Rico was talking about COVID earlier. Trump, he was bragging about being number one on Facebook as people were dying by the thousand. That's freaking crazy, man. Crazy. You know, so how do we elevate people like that to leadership? That's absolutely insane. You know, you have to, you know, money. He's bragging about the stock market as the cities are on fire and people are dying. It's a lot.
It's hurtful, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Absolutely. Wow. Let me go to Willow.
Hey, Rocky.
Talk to me, Willow.
You had your cup of coffee this morning, didn't you?
No, I'm drinking that good water. I'm drinking that good water this morning. That's all I need. Some good old water.
Amen.
But talk to me, sis. What's on your heart? K with E coming to you next.
When you ask the question, does life matter? You know, and life does matter, Raheem. But like I said before, it's all in our intake. And I thought about Psalm 91. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High, shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. And I was thinking about our dwelling. Our bodies is a place of dwelling, which gives us life because God gave it to us. And the way we live is how we listen to things, how we look at things, how we believe in things. You could just tell by how we understand things, because that was the most important thing that I got out of understanding. You know, even like when you ask the question, does life matter? And life does matter, but then someone can't really explain, well, how does it matter? Well, they'll say, well, because I'm trying to protect my loved one. And that's how it may matter to me. Another one might say, well, you know, they do this to this kind and that kind, another way. But there's a beginning to all of our lives. It's going to have an ending. And I always got to put that out there. Because life does matter. It matters so much that we need to be responsible to the ones that we also are blessed to bring into this world. A world which we know carries evil and good. So I just was thinking about Psalms 91, verse 1. He that dwelleth, and what we allow to dwell in our dwelling, which is our bodies, because there are many spirits, many of them. And whichever one I submit to, that's how it matters to me. So that's what I want to say, right?
Good deal. K with an E. Good morning, young lady. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. Blessed and everyone else.
Hey, blessed as well, sis. Asking the question, need to hear your heart. Does life matter? Not black lives, white lives, blue lives, purple, green, polka dot, or stripe lives. Does life matter? With all the stuff that's going on in this day and time, people killing each other at a terrible rate. mistreating each other, disrespecting each other in so many different ways.
Dennis.
Does life matter?
Yes, life matters.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it definitely matters. It does. It matters. All colors, all race, all age. It matters. But the question is, you asking, does life matter?
Yes.
Do life matter to a person themselves? Do they life matter?
Let me ask you this question, Kay. If an individual violates your house and come in your house at 2 o'clock in the morning with the intent to rob you. Yes, they violate your house. Yes, they violate your personal space. You get your gun and you point it at them. Before you pull that trigger, does their life matter?
When they entered my house, their life didn't matter.
At what point? Because is it because of the fact that they came into your personal space that it just disqualified their life and their life no longer matter because they came in your space? Do we sometimes think too highly of ourselves in situations like this?
No.
Because you could have very well pointed the gun at them and say, look here, get out my house. And they will still have their life. So the question is,
when you make a choice to you gambling with your life. When you go into someone else's home because you don't know, you might startle them. They might just shoot you out of. A person could break in somebody's house that know you. This lady shot her own brother because he broke in her house. She didn't know that was him.
Wow. So because
and
of the fact
he died, but she shot him.
Okay. So because of the fact that they violated, quote unquote, violated your space, at that point, because they made that decision, they made that choice, their life no longer matters.
Their life no longer matters. That's the same thing with that raccoon that worked his way into your house.
Okay.
His life no longer matters.
Okay. That's the way you feel about it.
To the individual first.
Okay.
It gotta matter to them first.
Okay. I understand what you're saying. And like I said, my thing is, I'm not here. I say it all the time. I'm not here to give anybody their opinion or what's on their heart because it's their opinion. I can't give you your opinion, and that's the way you feel about it. You know, I'm not gonna say whether you're right or whether you're wrong. You know, I may feel a little differently, but it doesn't matter what I feel. I ask you the question. Let me go to Mary. Mary, good morning. How you doing this morning?
I'm well. How are you?
Doing well. Mary asking the question, does life matter? We're not talking about black lives, white, blue, purple, green, polka dot, or striped. We're talking about life with all the killing and all the stuff that's going on in this day and time. Mary, does life matter?
Sure. I guess. I mean, sure.
Why you say you guess?
The people I love matter. If I don't know you, I don't care. You can die tomorrow, I don't care.
Wow.
So it's like, I mean, you have to be realistic about it. If someone, like a serial killer's life, I don't care about that life. You took so many. You deserve to die, to me, in my opinion. So it's like, it's within reason. If you're a good person, then sure, your life matters. But that's everybody got their time. I don't know. I feel like life is, I don't know. I would say my general answer would be no. It doesn't, because it matters how you live it.
Mary, talk directly into your phone. Mary, talk directly into your phone. You're a little bit low. Talk directly into your phone for me, please.
I feel like it's the way you live your life that makes it something important. But I don't think life itself matters. No.
Wow.
Because if I go out and kill everybody that you love, does my life matter? Probably not. To anybody else that lives it, probably not, because I've done so much. So it's like I feel like you can't say life matters and then give stipulations and conditions on it. It's either it does completely or it doesn't completely, in my opinion. I'm a black and white kind of thinker sometimes. So it's like, I don't think so. No, I don't think that matters. Because if you don't live your life the way that I feel is morally correct, I could care less.
Wow.
To be completely honest, so I don't think it matters. No, I think how you live it matters. What you do with it matters.
Okay, that's good. Okay, let me go to Dennis. Dennis, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Morning, sir. Question that you posed: does life matter? And my comeback to that is how important is life to one. And when we go into Black lives, white lives, and all the lives, I think when it comes to the African American community, to me, it seems like it does not matter and important because of the wanton and indiscriminate and the petty killing of our own kind for just as some of the things that have disrespect. So in that instance, the life is not important. So if your own can just kill you just like that, it's and we're looking at it from what's happening today, but we have to understand the root of why our life is not important and does not matter in this point in time. And when we are looking at ourselves, we're looking, say, maybe 100 years to present, but not understanding 100 years backwards to understand where we are today and why our own kind do not think the life is so precious to continue on a cycle. There's a level of, there's a pathway to richness and there's a pathway to poorness. It's just like with a rich person, he'll do things to stay rich. With poorness, we'll continue to do things that keep us poor. And the cycle of the way we think about lives is the same way, where we don't respect life, we don't respect ourselves, and if we are not able to do that, then our lives will not matter.
Wow.
And that's how I explain it, or how I came to view lives and the importance of it. We do not look at it that way because easily we can see the rappers that are dying and being killed. For what? Just think. What are they being killed for? And the hatred that we have for each other.
Wow.
That renders life doesn't matter to us.
Wow. Let me ask you the same question I posed earlier, Dennis. 2 o'clock in the morning, someone invades your personal space and break into your home. You and your family are in their sleep. You get up, you get your gun, and you walk through your house and you see that person, y'all face to face. Does their life matter at that moment?
Well, no, it does not, because you're breaking and entering. And there's time we've got to deal. It's either your life or their lives.
But can't you very well, but Mr. Dennis, let me ask you this question. Can't you very well point your weapon at them and say, if you don't get out my house right now, I'm going to kill you? And 9 times out of 10, they're going to leave your house. So there's a choice, even in that situation right there, there's a choice. But you spoke earlier about the respect or the disrespect. Now, is it because of the fact that you feel as though, or the individual could feel as though they disrespected them by coming into their personal dwelling, so that disqualified their life? Is it a disrespect thing, or does their life should still matter and you give them the open the door and say, get out my house or I'm going to kill you?
Well, when you're scared, there's lots and lots of things that you do. But if you're startled, you react. And basically, you are not, at this point in time, after being startled, think that, any good intention. And what if that person also have a gun? Then what?
Okay.
So
I see what you're saying and where you're going with it. And I'm not gonna say that you're wrong, well, that's your opinion. That's how you feel about it, But my thing is, at what point does their life become disqualified? At what point?
If you're going to say leave and it doesn't happen, I guess that person didn't intend to leave on your command and want a confrontation.
Okay.
So that's when it's them or you.
Wow. Okay. Let me go to Curtis. Curtis, what's on your heart? Rico, coming to you next, brother.
Okay.
Hold on, Mr. Dennis. Don't go nowhere. Stay with us, brother.
Sure.
And using your scenario, right?
Yes.
And think about the whole situation of life having, life mattering, right? Then once again, if I think that I'm the person in the house with the gun, once again, if I am to believe that I did not believe that life mattered and I shot that intruder, right? In my mind, what we have just done is we have just victimized the victim. Because the truth is told, and I'm speaking from personal experience here, everything that I did when I was in the street, you know who life mattered the most?
Yours.
Mine.
Yours. Yeah. Yours.
Right?
Yeah.
So if it was deemed, I remember times, you know what I'm saying, a couple of my homies, they come to me like, yo, look, man, we going up on this block. Hey, hold on, man. Y'all know who run that block? Y'all know what we're gonna have to go through if we press that, right? Everybody, y'all ready for that? Because some of us might not make it home. Somebody's mama might be calling, might be getting a call tonight. You see what I'm saying? So, in my mindset, from the time that burglar, that robber, breach, then did his life really matter to himself? And I think that's an even greater point that we have discussed, but could discuss a little further, is does life matter to you? Does your own personal life matter? Or do we think that these folks are doing what they're doing with the ideology that, you know what, I could die tonight. If I do this, I could die. My life could be over. So, you know, I kind of look at it that way. Now I'll be the first one to tell you, somebody come in my door, man, I'm gonna put a shot down range. It ain't gonna hit him.
Yeah, that's a warning.
It ain't gonna hit him.
You gonna throw a warning?
Shot down.
Might I say something?
Hey, boy, I'm a sharpshooter. You might want to go and turn around right now. I call the police 5 minutes after you leave. Take one more step and that's it. But for others impulsively, for other people, what happens is they fight or flight jump. They do not give themselves a third option. So it's either fight or flight. So it's either jump out the window or shoot this person dead. That's a human response to conflict. You know what I'm saying? Fight or flight. So, but all at the same time, if I take what you're saying, then I can't help but say, well, is that kind of victimizing the victim here? You know what I'm saying? Because they chose to shoot this person who is illegally intruding into their own personal space.
And my main question is, Curtis, at what point, I'm going to go to Rico as well, so give me your quick answer. I could go to him. I want to circle around to a few more people before we get out of here. I got about 15 minutes. At what point did that person's life become disqualified and no longer matter? Was it because they simply invaded your home? Curtis?
You asking me, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, my take is, now that I think about it, the point that the person's life became disqualified was the minute that they made the choice to disqualify themselves.
But am I my brother's keeper though? If I am my brother's keeper, then I have to stand in the gap even when he's falling short. I have to be in the gap and come on, brother. Now you know good and well you ain't got no business being in my house. I got this heat on you, bro. Don't make me use it. I got this heat on you.
That's why I said for me right here, I'm gonna send a shot down range. It ain't gonna hit him, but I'm gonna send one down range. Hey, hold on, bro. You in the wrong house. Next step, well, I'm telling you, It's over for you.
Yeah.
I got you. You in the crosshair.
So their life
But
still
for a lot
matters.
of
At that point, their life still matters then. At that point.
For me.
Okay.
But you have a lot of people I guess what I'm trying to say is you have a lot of people that in that given situation, there's two choices.
Mm-hmm.
There's fight or flight.
Yeah. Yeah.
The fight would be jumping out the window or, bro, look, just don't kill me. Take whatever you want and get on through.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The fight is bang, bang, bang. Baby, call 911. I think he did.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or there's gunfire exchange and then the person run. That's your fight. Very few people can kind of, in that particular situation or conflict, very few people can ride that down the middle and say, okay, look, I'm gonna sling this shot down range. If he don't get it, then I'm gonna kill him.
Mm-hmm.
But what I was saying was, is it possible that all at the same time, the minute life stopped mattering was the minute that person chose to intrude into your house?
Mm-hmm. Mm. Okay.
Because they made a conscious decision to rob you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay.
So did their life matter to them?
Mm-hmm.
And should you be held accountable for them not even taking into account that, you know what, I could die. When I break in this man's house, I don't know what he got in there.
Mm-hmm.
I could die. That's all I was saying. I wasn't like disagreeing with you and then
Yeah. I understand.
Saying, you know, the flip side of that is, are we putting ourselves in a position with a question that says that once again the victim will become victimized?
Okay. Hold on, Kurt. Stay right there, brother. Let me go to Rico. Rico, what's on your heart? Talk to me. What do you do? At what point do the life matters or stop mattering, if it stopped mattering at all?
Well, at one point, then my life stopped mattering to where they wanted to put me in harm's way.
Mm-hmm.
See, I come up on that too, either way you want to be treated.
Mm-hmm.
Some things I just ain't gonna do to you out of respect for you and your life and your peace and hospitality. But then if you're gonna come to me, you know, this is the world we live in. They might be breaking in because they think ain't nobody at home. Or they might be breaking in and saying, well, we're gonna tie somebody up and we're gonna rob them. Or they might be breaking in to kill me. I do not know.
Mm-hmm.
Only thing I know is they being aggressive, they violating my space, and they obviously come to mean me harm. Now, I might be able to call the police and spare your life if I see what's going down ahead of time. But if you catch me off guard and I think you mean me harm, bless your ass.
Hey.
Because I don't know what you coming with. I don't know what you coming for.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know what your intentions are. See? So you can't predict that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, baby, they're trying to kick the door in. Oh, don't worry, sweetie. They're just gonna come in and steal everything and leave. No, they might decide they want to rape your wife, and then the other one might decide he want to rape you with a gun. I know that has happened. I know somebody that did that. Broke in, robbed some people, and decided that they want to have some sick, I don't even want to call it for a sick, deviant time.
Mm-hmm.
One of them decided they want to rape the woman. Well, I don't even know how that come in the middle of want to rob somebody unless they had already been longing for him. Then the other one decided he wanted to be sick and he wanted to rape the man with a gun in his butt.
Mm.
Just big, humiliating, traumatizing. Can you imagine that? Man, I wish you would think you fixing to kick my door in and do something like that. I got 30 rounds for you and your buddies. If that's what y'all want to do, don't harm me. Don't come with me no harm, because I don't know what this fair. I don't know what your intentions are.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Wow.
I mean, you know, the question is, did my life matter to them when they decided they wanted to come and put me in a situation where I didn't know what they was trying to do?
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't bothering nobody. I just lay in my bed, minding my own business, being peaceful, loving life. Couldn't wait till I get up in the morning and walk around and before the birds wake up and then to greet them when they wake up and hear them chirping. I love life so much. I don't bother nobody. But if you bother me, you deserve it.
Mm.
Now,
wow.
I like what Paul said earlier, man. That was so huge what he read, man.
Yeah.
And I hope we don't let that get by us, because that really answers a lot of questions. When you go, sometimes you come across white people that say, well, man, y'all use racism as a race card and this and that. Read that and let you know how high up that started and where it came from and how impactful it was and how it has evolved to today. You know, let's go and start looking at the PNAC, the Plan for a New American Century. Go and read that and listen to them talking about that new Pearl Harbor and the need for, more surveillance and this and that. And then all of a sudden, boom, 9/11. Or go back and look at Operation Northwoods. George Bush was over the CIA then too. Guess who was over the CIA when that plan came to Nixon? George Bush.
Wow.
We heard the name Murdoch. We hearing Bush. And these are coming from very powerful people that implemented this war on drugs and the COINTELPRO. But then guess what the illusion of the American dream did? It made people like T.I. go and proudly promote how they benefited from the sale of those same drugs.
And
then want to say how iconic trap music is to our culture.
Exactly.
I heard what Ibrahim said earlier, and I don't mind a little, analysis of how I interpret things. I think interpretations are opinions. I really don't mind that criticism. I love constructive criticism, but I love consistency too. And I hope he's holding T.I. to the same level of standard.
Good deal. Let's keep this thing going. Let me go to Badger. Badger, what's on your heart, brother? What would you do in that scenario? Badger?
I was waiting for the mute button.
Talk to me.
So, for one, I don't own a gun. I probably never will. However, I have a lot of sharp objects. Everything from axes to arrows to tomahawks to all knives of most flavors that are legal anyway. I don't have any illegal knives. So I don't really worry about that kind of stuff.
But if it did happen?
However, if it did, I honestly think I probably would scare them enough to make them drop the gun. If they had to use it, that person ain't walking out either. Because I don't think there's enough bullets in a clip to stop me if I'm protecting my family.
Okay.
And that's come from somebody that has bullet wounds.
Wow.
So that's why I have such a view of anyone. I view guns as a wicked. Only the wicked and the weak own weapons like that.
Okay. Dennis, I saw. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Badger. Finish your thought.
I didn't think you wanted me to go any farther than that. I can. Just didn't know if you wanted me to.
No, let's stay right there, Badger. Okay, don't tell them what corner you about to turn. Let's stay there. Let me go to Dennis. Dennis, you said, I think you had something you want to say as well to something that was said. What was on your heart, brother?
Right, self-worth, and I think the person who is going to enter your home don't think nothing of himself and what the consequences that he may end up, facing. So if that person doesn't value his own life, then the question is, why should you? Because we don't know his intentions coming into your house.
Am I? Somewhere I read where it says, and there's a quote that says, "Am I my brother's keeper?" And if you're your brother's keeper, then even when they're in somewhere else I read when my brother's at a fault, blase, certain things I could turn to that says that speaks to what we're talking about right now. Now, if they make a bad decision, if you're your brother's keeper, and you did not say that you were, but if you are your brother's keeper, aren't you supposed to stand in the gap and say, hold on, brother, hold on, you know you're wrong. Now you know you're wrong.
In what conditions? Pressure conditions. Yes, we are brother's keeper.
Absolutely, absolutely.
In conditions that are, conducive.
Yeah.
But when it's not that way,
yeah,
there's no keeping at all.
I got you, brother. I got you. Hey, I'm just a question asker, brother. I'm just a fellow that asks the questions. You're absolutely right, though. You're absolutely right. Willa, what's on your heart? That's good. That's good, Dennis.
That was a good question, Raheem, when you said that what happened if somebody was to come into your space and meant your family harm. And then you read the scripture, am I thy brother's keeper? Certainly we are his keeper. But you got to look at if he's alive, because the Bible also says that we live under the between the wheat and the tare, the evil and the good. So now he's made the choice that his life don't mean no good. And his life didn't mean nothing to him. Because anytime you come into somebody else's house and you know it's not yours, then you got to suffer consequences. The Bible says that he hates sin, but sin brings on death when you're sinning. So there's a consequence to every decision that you make. So when you make that decision to come into somebody's house, and I know if you come into my house, then you make the decision to see your mate who's going to judge you. Because I'm not going to allow you to hurt my family. I'm not going to allow you to hurt me. Because you had the same opportunities and the same choices that I've had to lead to the right way. And you chose not to. So with your decision that you made, you now have to suffer the consequences. And that's what that means.
Now,
see, when we read the word, it doesn't make us a fool. Because even the foolish man says in his heart that there's no God. So we have to be able to be wise. And that's what I pray for every day. God to make me wise, God to be a keeper, Holy Spirit to surround me. So hopefully the Holy Spirit don't put me in that situation. Because if you do, Raheem, y'all gonna be hearing me in the court.
Now, Willa, I know good and well you ain't gonna put no heat on nobody. Now, not Willa. Now, Willa, you ain't gonna put no heat on nobody.
I hate guns. I don't like them. My husband has them. But if it came to a decision where I had to make a choice between somebody in my family and me, I'm just telling you, come on now. I just got to be honest and keep it real.
Hey, I understand. I understand. Mr. Hicks, talk to me, Mr. Hicks. You ain't gonna put no heat on nobody, you, Mr. Hicks. Talk to me now. Come on now. Not Mr. Hicks.
Just come back. Give me a question. I was thinking about changing, just the ability to be flexible to change with the times and to adapt yourself to the realities that's in front of you, right? I can't carry weapons, and I know that if I did and I got caught with it, I know the repercussions. It's going through a long period of not being very uncomfortable about having a strap on my side. Because I wore it so long, and there was that element. So I would experience you with it. I had to really figure out why things happen. And why things happen to me and personally, right? And that research showed me that in my experience in life, I was always getting what I feared or what I was worried about or what I was anxious about. Even in terms of imagine someone coming into the house, breaking in the house, it's like, I don't even want to do that because I know the power of imagination. I know the power of having these thoughts. That's the whole idea of creating such an environment where everybody's afraid. They feel like they got to have a pistol. Down to that thing of the Second Amendment, I think it was Fannie Lou Hamer. I mean, with the forced sterilization, all that stuff, like she fought for voters' rights. It was her that put a petition in that changed, that made the Constitution, which was none of the stuff the Constitution was written for us. We had to go through a fight to make them recognize that it got applied to us if you understand about what you say you believe in. If you believe in them words, you got to do this thing. So So the Second Amendment at that time, I remember 1960 in Addison, Alabama, they're coming out in 61, and the Klan had started planning to ride through our community. The black my uncles them. I was a little boy then.
Mm-hmm.
Man, everybody on both sides of the road had shotguns standing out there.
Good Lord.
Then they came down and they saw what was in front of them and they turned around.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I think for me has been a thing of feeling comfortable with yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, kind of thing.
Absolutely.
And when death comes, it comes. I'm not running from it.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. Ibrahim, talk to me, brother. What's on your heart?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know, I was thinking about when I think you mentioned Fannie Lou Hamer. I was thinking about it earlier when we started talking about Black Lives Matter, Lives Matter, and she was talking about the riots, right? She said those young people out there because they're frustrated, you won't let them do nothing. Ain't nothing they can do, so that don't belong to them. So they gonna burn it down. But that's another story to go.
Mm-hmm.
But when you say a brother's keeper, right?
Yes.
You remember that. I think that we talk about I, me, and me, and we forget the community that you in.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If a person come to your door, he don't come to other doors, or he will go in other doors. You know, this is called crime in for murder. I don't mean he committed rape or robbery or anything else.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's something I think other day we were talking about that when we had them brothers on.
Yeah.
You know, you don't assign one crime to one and another crime to other, because if you're in the criminal enterprise, you've been in and out one time, you've done all kind of crime. You don't have no space. You know. So, but anyway, my next door neighbor matters to me. When that person, I learned from experience. When I pull a gun out, it's gonna be fired.
Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna.
I
ain't holler nobody. Now the law. I live in a state where the law was that if you were able to run or get away or lock a door, then you had to do that, else you could be charged for murder.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? I lived in a state like that. That was Massachusetts back during the Dukakis days. You know, so I know how it is that ultra liberalism, that ultra rightism. You know, now I live in a state where you can carry a gun without a license, in clothes or out, any way you want to carry it, without a license. Well, it used to be like that anyway. Hang it up in the back of your pickup truck, right? So, but what I'm saying is that when somebody comes to me, right, then it's my responsibility not only to take care of my domicile, but my next door neighbor. And anybody else that he's gonna victimize. You know what I mean? So
basically what you're saying is you become the neighborhood advocate. You're gonna take care of the whole community.
I becoming my brother's keeper and the wives, the children, and everybody else keeper. When he comes through that door, you know, he's an attacker. He's an attacker.
Mm-hmm.
He's an assault.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I'm looking out for my brother. I want my brother to have the same safety and security life I want for myself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Irregardless who my community is.
So you're gonna blast him.
You know, he's the problem. He got to go. I ain't got time to counsel him. You know, I've been shot. Just like, I don't know how bad you figured out his thing. He's been shot, but I've been shot, and I'm telling you.
Mm-hmm.
With the opportunity, when my dad told me the first time, when I shot a boy here, when he was trying to kill me the first time, so he could have killed me, coming back and get you. A week later, he got me. But he didn't kill me because I still was fighting.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But all praise to God. But look what? He was a dope fiend. He was a drug dealer. And he was assaulting other people at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
My daddy killed a man in his bar, right? Shot his head off. I said, dang, Dad. Come to find out, they were looking for him for murder and everything else. He just came to the wrong night at the right time. You know what I'm saying? You know, so look, sometimes, you know, things come your way. And I hate to use the phrase the natural born killer, but you know, maybe I'm doing the God's work. You know what I mean?
Lord. I'm afraid to say it. Lord, listen, hold on. We're gonna stay right there. We're gonna end right there. Rico, what's going on at 3:00 today, sir?
Man, I think this goes back to value system too, man. But if you missed today's show and would like to hear us see the rebroadcast in its entirety, you can tune in at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on www.dkmmediagroup.com.
Yes, sir. Joseph, I think you had something on your heart, brother. What's on your heart?
Oh, well, I just appreciate the show this morning, man, and all of the comments. I learned so much listening to everyone's comment, you have such an advanced cadre of thinkers on this
absolutely
on this platform, brother. And I thank God for your humility and your referee expertise and how you guide us, man, and direct us. So, and I pray that everyone have a wonderful day as we grow together.
Absolutely, absolutely. Rico, is she here?
Yes, sir. She's still here.
You sure she here?
She waiting in the background. Once I finish shooting, she's shooting. We got to stop them critters.
Well, let me do this here. Let me see that. Willa!
Come on, Raheem. Come on.
Willa!
Raheem, let's go.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Well,
I'm ready, Raheem.
Well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get out your way. I'm going to say, let's go.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go before the throne of grace this morning. First, I'm going to ask God to forgive me for anything that I've done, that I said, that I thought that was displeasing to him in his eyesight. Father, I thank you so much for your forgiveness. Father, I thank you for your grace and your mercy.
Yes, Lord.
I thank you for loving us even when we don't even deserve it.
Yes.
Father, I thank you for all you do in our lives. If by chance I didn't say thank you, Lord, I'm saying thank you. If I had 10,000 or 20,000 tongues, Lord, I couldn't thank you enough. I thank you for the Holy Spirit that you allow to dwell within us, oh Lord, leading us and guiding us, directing us and showing us your way. Father, I'm asking you, oh Lord, to touch each and every last one that's on this land, Lord. Father, I'm asking you to search their hearts, Lord. Reveal the truth in the name of Jesus, Lord. Father, we stand on your words and your promises. You said it in your word to cast all our cares upon you because you care for us. And Father, I thank you for the word. I thank you for the word that you send to heal us, oh Lord. I thank you for the word. The word said that I'll be with you in time of comfort. Yes. So I'm asking you, oh Lord, to keep those and strengthen those who've lost loved ones, oh Lord. Father, let them know that they're strengthened through your power, Lord, that they can get through anything and you could carry them
It shut us down right in the middle of the prayer.
But we were still on.
Huh?
Right here, we were still here.
Yeah. Y'all were still here. Yeah, y'all were still here, but the system actually shut down, and on the video side it shut down, and people didn't hear the whole prayer. Man, I hate when that happened. I hate when that happened right there, boy. I don't like that. But hold on. I know you all were still there. Hold on, Rico. Rico, there you go, Rico. He somehow he got on mute. I don't know what fancy thing Rico got going on over there. He had muted himself. I ain't never seen nobody mute
No,
themselves.
I was asking you, did it kick you out?
Yeah.
Out?
Yeah, it did. It kicked me out. Yeah, it should have. So Willa.
I was wondering why did nobody say it, because I was talking to Willa and Kay and wasn't nobody saying nothing.
Yeah, it kicked us all out. It sure did. It sure did. And you had somehow, they couldn't hear you because you had muted yourself some kind of way. I don't know how you did that. I'm about to talk to you after the broadcast to find out what kind of fancy thing you got over there where you can mute yourself.
You muted me, man. You muted me, man.
But listen, we good.
Raheem,
yes, ma'am.
The young lady that got that fireman.
What happened now?
Her daddy.
What happened?
The lady that shot the fireman. The lady that shot the fireman, I met her dad.
Say that one more time.
That's because it's an echo.
Oh, okay.
I said the young lady that shot the fireman. I know her dad and her uncle.
Good Lord. She shot everybody, didn't she?
And she didn't go to jail for it. No, I'm saying I know them.
Oh, good Lord. Yeah, keep if she shoots people like that.
She got off on self-defense.
Well, you keep them away from me, because I don't need nobody shooting at me. I'm just picking. I'm just being silly.
She tapped that man on the shoulder and everything.
Wow. A great broadcast today. Y'all enjoy the broadcast?
It was awesome.
Good deal. Now I'm going to do that thing you said. Okay, I got to do it. Let me see. It is now. I want to thank everybody for joining us. And more than that, I want to thank you for allowing DK Media Group and Associates and the Morning Glow for being a part of your morning. It is now 10:12. You're about to exit the Morning Glow. But before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us, because we're certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody, and give them a hug, because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. And then we shine some of this light on you from the Morning Glow. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in, and let your light so shine. If you get an opportunity, give somebody some love. You just might get some love in return. Won't that be a beautiful thing? Have a great day. Take care of each other. And please, please, please be blessed. Love you. Have a great day.